The Pat McAfee Show.
There will be no rules for our guests, for us, for the things we can talk about.
Yes, sir. Speaking his mind.
I've never had a problem expressing my opinions or my thoughts or anything like that.
While being relatable.
I haven't had that manufactured fake-ass celebrity that a lot of people have whenever they go on those big networks. I've had a chance to really build my crew, build my following, build my audience.
And ridiculous.
What am I supposed to do? So I'm supposed to look at something that I can definitely afford and say, nah. Is that what I'm supposed to do?
The Pat McAfee Show starts in 3, 2, 1.
Good afternoon, beautiful people. It is Coach Us Up Chuck, Wednesday, October 13th, 2021, years after the year zero was deemed. Big sports show today. Yeah! Shout out to Twine for that beat drop. Shout out to you for listening on SiriusXM Channel 82 Mad Dog Sports Radio or watching along here at youtube.com/The Pat McAfee Show. We can't thank you enough for joining us every Monday through Friday as we sit behind microphones and say dumb things about the sports world that sometimes make sense, sometimes ending up being 100% accurate, sometimes are used by other people to make their case a clearer one. For instance, the Pittsburgh Penguins are going to win the fucking Stanley Cup, okay?
Yeah.
Been saying it for a long time.
Oh, yeah.
I've been saying it for the last 5 years every single day, and they haven't. But today, I am saying with conviction, hockey is back, okay? They're using Stadium Series sky cams on the new coverages as opposed to the NBC coverage that it always was. Shout out to NBC, hell of a run with hockey.
Good run.
I mean, it wasn't really seen by anybody.
No.
Except for like the hey, way to go, NBC.
Hey, good job,
NBC.
NBC.
You lose Doc, you lose to the NHL.
Yeah, you lose Doc Emmerich, and I haven't seen Pierre.
No.
Where the fuck is Pierre?
I don't know, but I'm
He got
saying.
a job.
Anyways, NBC was always its own broadcast for hockey for a long time, and the commissioner of the NHL, Mr.
Gary Bettman.
Gary Bettman actually came out and said if ESPN does half as good promoting us as they did as freezing us out of their coverage when they didn't have our rights when we were on NBC, he said he thinks we'll be fine. I agree. ESPN committed a lot of time to the NHL yesterday. There was a lot of conversation around the NHL yesterday. Sidney Crosby was doing national interviews for the first time I've ever seen in his it was a terrible interview. I mean, there was nothing learned or said or exciting at all, which...
Classic.
That's hockey, baby. I mean, that is hockey. But at least his face was out there getting introduced to a lot of sports fans. People that are normally interested in competition are getting introduced to an incredible sport via the new platform that is ESPN, and also going to be Turner with Wayne Gretzky and Biz in them. That's going to be incredible coverage. Rupper on the NHL Network crushing it. I think this is a great time to become or be a hockey fan. And with that being said, you have your team. You saw them last night. They kicked off the NHL fucking season against the back-to-back champs and absolutely put a beatdown on the Lightning. The Pittsburgh Penguins are your team. Without the two best players in hockey and the two best players on the team, we win 6-2 against the reigning champs. No big deal. The Vegas Golden Knights also played against the Kraken. Brand new squad. Kraken, fun fact, the only completely defeated NHL franchise. That franchise has never won a game, ever. Think about that. I don't know if you want to be a fan of that team or you'd rather be a fan of the Pittsburgh Penguins. Joining me today, a man who grew up in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. He's the host of Hammer Dahn, which runs 15 minutes after this show ends every single Monday through Friday at youtube.com/Hammer Dahn. Grew up in Pittsburgh, city of champions, hockey.
Wow.
And he is somehow now a Seattle Kraken fan. You got a chance to see your team lose last night. It's great to be in the middle of hockey season. Listen, it's football season. Do not get it twisted. This show cannot and will not become a hockey-dominant show.
Never.
But there's a lot to celebrate today as the Penguins are undefeated and hockey is now going to be seen by more people, we think, with the network realignment. We'll see how that goes. Tone Diggs, you grew up in Hockey Town. Pittsburgh Penguins won numerous Stanley Cups while you were living there. How are you not a Pittsburgh Penguins fan? How are you a Pittsburgh Pirates fan? And how does it feel knowing that you're a Pittsburgh Pirates fan, the consummate loser of a franchise, Pittsburgh Pirates? Now you're a fan of a hockey team that has 0 wins in the Seattle Kraken. What is this all about? Why is this the case, Tom?
It's a 1A, 1B situation for the Pens and Kraken for me. But here's what happens. Nick knows this. I have always gotten into it with Penguins fans in the city because some of them are Pens fans first over Steelers, and that irks the fuck out of me. How that you could be in Pittsburgh and root for the Pens more than you root for the Steelers, and that drives me insane. So I've always had a little issue with the Pens fans, not the team, the Pens fans first.
Well, and I think you also have an issue with people who potentially are fans of players as opposed to teams.
Yes.
And growing up in Pittsburgh, Pens were my team, and I was a fan of players in the NFL. So I assume that would piss 10 Diggs off if I was to have a conversation with him. But there is not a majority of people in Pittsburgh that way. But the Penguins are a widely backed team in Pittsburgh. And I, growing up a hockey fan, growing up a Penguins fan. Also because the Igloo is one of the only places you can get tickets to go that were reasonably priced as a family, I think. So that is potentially why I became a fan. You start meeting people that aren't from hockey towns, though. They have no idea what hockey is. It's the worst sport of all time. Why the fuck are you watching these Russians and Canadians and Finnish people skate around on ice, hit each other, and chase a little tiny puck that you can't see the entire time? I'm like, no. Watch the sport. I'm very lucky that I grew up in a place that had a great hockey team, and I think the masses getting introduced to hockey is great for hockey. With that being said, Boston fan, Boston Connor, the Bruins haven't played yet. What? They play tonight?
No, they play actually Saturday.
Oh, jeez.
The thing about, Boston, it's so much different from your guys' rinky-dink sports towns.
Nobody's going to watch on Saturday.
Well, I mean, we got the ALCS on Friday. I mean, we're focused on baseball right now. We're in the playoffs. Every single one of our teams goes to the playoffs. Patriots, maybe not last year, but the other three did. And now this year, all four are going to go. We're in the semifinals, basically, to put the, if you will, conference championship in the NFL. That's what we're in baseball right now, okay? I'm freaking out. I'm on the edge of my seat right now for baseball season. I mean, all systems go for the Red Sox.
I understand Boston has had a too long of a run of success in all of their sports.
Across the board.
Across the board.
All.
Every league.
Yep, even the PLL.
Every sport.
No. Yeah, that's right.
I understand that you guys have had this incredible sustain of success via your professional sports teams.
My entire life.
Now, I understand that is the only existence that you understand as a 26-year-old Bostonian masshole, whatever the case.
That's right.
But don't you think because of that, you guys don't get to focus in on one particular team as much?
Oh, yeah.
Because your heart has to be spread so thin because there's so much success up there that you could never express the amount of love that Pittsburgh has for the Penguins because the Pittsburgh Pirates are never going to win, so nobody even invests any emotion in that. They invest all their emotion in the Pittsburgh Penguins because they know I have wasted energy toward the Pirates. I think that is something that you guys, drunk on success, overdosing on championships up there, could never understand.
No, see, what you don't understand is, Pat, Boston's a very big city. It has a lot of places. And remember, we're talking about...
not that big of a city.
Hold on. We're talking about New England, okay? We're not just talking about Massachusetts, New Hampshire, Vermont, Maine. What? All those states together?
How come nobody else was doing that for you, you think?
Well, I don't know. Probably because, like I said before, you guys don't understand. We don't just have one or two good teams. We have four good teams.
Hate us because I ain't us.
Exactly. So what we do is everyone is Patriots first, and then we as a community decide, all right, now we split up here. Half go to basketball, half go to hockey, and then when everybody's in the playoffs, we're all full systems go there. So right now, everyone's like, Boston? Oh, yeah, that's right. Red Sox. It's Red Sox season.
Oh, so you guys just have different uniforms, basically.
Oh, no. Everyone buys a jersey for every team. I mean, you saw it. Mac Jones, number 2, right there on the jersey sales. Red Sox, don't even get me started. Everyone's
what a run.
Got a Sox
what a
jersey.
run for that masshole community up there.
Oh, it's incredible.
Congratulations. Good luck to the Red Sox, by the way.
Yeah, hey, baseball season right here.
Hey, the other Sox, the White Sox, South Side.
Yeah, they stink.
They're gone. They're gone.
Good run.
Yeah, who's all left over there in the baseball room?
Stros and Sox.
Okay.
And then on the other side, it's going to be the Braves versus either the Dodgers and Giants.
Hey, I saw Chipper Jones catch 2 foul balls going over the net right where he was sitting.
Oh, yeah. He caught him.
Chipper's Chipper.
Oh, he caught one. He dropped the other one.
Yeah, I didn't see the catch. I only saw the drop.
Oh, he caught one the day before.
Oh.
I don't know how you do that. I used to go to games with a fishing net that was the size of... I don't even know what it is. The big ass fishing net. You know what I'm talking about? The one that, for largemouth bass.
Hell yeah.
For the big mouth.
14 inches.
Yeah, when you're going out there getting that tuna. You know what I mean? Get that big
mackerel.
There was a time where you could just walk into a stadium with that thing. It was a big metal pole. I mean, massive metal pole and a huge net. And I just put that thing right over my shoulder and would walk right into PNC Park with that thing and nobody would ask any questions. Whenever we went through metal detectors, they would actually take it like with my cell phone on the side. Like, yeah, I'm going to get this. This got to go through. Nah, we understand. All right, thanks. Just hand it to me on the other side. And I only got one ball that entire time. I don't know how Chipper Jones was able to be a magnet for a ball. It's always a nice little treat. Whenever a ball comes to your section, there's a little bit of an explosion. Everybody's normally drunk at Pirates games, not expecting to win. So this might be the victory of the night, is getting a ball to go home with from the actual game. I only got one ball. Chipper Jones got 2 in the last 2 nights. That guy's fucking touched by the gods.
Oh, yeah. All-time legend, Hall of Famer.
At Ty Schmidt, big baseball fan. What were you going to say, Nick? You were going to say something about that fishing net?
Well, that particular stadium was just happy to get warm bodies in the building, so it didn't really matter what you were bringing along with you.
Yeah, PNC Park. Yeah, it's true. And at that point, we were very warm because we had warmed up in a parking lot, too. Just think about the state of mind that the group that we were with that would walk into that place, and then they would see me with that thing, and they would just be like, we are paid security, but just go on in there.
You're good.
You know what I mean? That was a wild time. I only got one ball. It was from the third baseline foul ball kid. I think it was a guy. Yeah, it was like an 18-year-old guy. It looked like. I don't know. Okay. How old are they? They seem to
ranges,
be.
but yeah, probably like 18 to 50. You get some geezers out there.
As soon as we got into the game, about 7th inning, 6th inning, because we had been out in there. I'd never seen any geezers out there, by the way. It seems to be a little bit younger party, but you follow baseball a lot closer.
Oh, yeah, there are some.
As soon as we moseyed into that place, I started yelling at this guy. And I was 15, 20 rows back. It wasn't like we were sitting on the thing. We were way back. So I'm just like, hey, pal, he turns. When you get a ball, like, huck one up here. And there was a little group of people around, like, scattered where we were. About 8th inning, that son of a bitch gets one hot. And he just turns immediately, flips his hips, and hucks that thing up to my area.
Wow.
All right? Clean as... That thing is going over my head to another group of people, though. Mm-hmm. Make a huge play with that net.
Let's go.
Huge play. Pop, by the way, from the 4,000 people that are in the thing.
Yeah.
Hold the net up, go crazy with it. It's awesome. Walking out, people are asking me about it. Like, great crowd. I'm like, yeah. Hell yeah. That's probably the best baseball has ever been in my entire life for me, was that moment in there. And that's incredibly selfish, obviously, because it's just me having a moment in a baseball stadium.
It's a great play.
But I don't know how anybody watches that sport. I have no idea how. Like, you'll watch this thing? Yankees are out. Will you watch this thing?
I haven't really been watching much, especially when you got the Golden Knights, out there. I stayed up for that entire game last night. Probably won't be doing that again. It was a little tough to get up this morning. That game ended very late. Very late.
Kayfabe Fugazi right now.
No, 100%. I stayed up.
You stayed up for that fucking game? What, they dropped the puck at what, midnight?
10:15, 10:30. I had to see, because did Stoner lose a step?
Did he?
No, 3 points last night. Yeah. I mean, the guy's fucking unbelievable. Guy's unbelievable. And, we get rid of Flower. I had to know, hey, is Robin Leonard, is he going to stand on his head tonight? Is he going to be good in between the posts? He wasn't great, but he was good enough. And, but yeah, Golden Knights look good. I don't know how many more 10:30 puck drops I'm going to be tuning in the rest of the season.
And for those of you that aren't maybe NHL fans and you just like good shows, the banner ceremony for the Tampa Bay Lightning, terrible. Yeah. It was awful. Mm-hmm. It was the longest, most drawn. They introduced every player on the roster.
Oh, come on.
And there was, they introduced every player on the roster. Then, listen, go Bolts.
Go Bolts.
Go Bolts.
Go Bolts.
We were pulling for the Bolts because we had a house in Tampa at the time. That's now Antonio Brown's. Yeah. But we had a house down in Tampa, and when we were doing the show, and it was during the playoff run, and the Penguins had been quickly kicked out of the playoffs.
Clean sweep.
And we got to see how much Tampa Bay loves the Lightning. Now, they were the reigning champs, and they are now back-to-back champs, so maybe winning breeds a fan base or whatever. But we had respect for how much Tampa loved the Bolts.
Oh, yeah.
People were walking in and out of, like, convenience stores and gas stations. Go Boats.
Yep.
Go Boats.
Go Boats.
That's literally what they would say. So I was like, all right, I have appreciation for this place being a hockey town. Like, this is a hockey town down here. They love it. That banner ceremony was, I don't know, maybe 27 minutes too long.
Tampa Bay in general stinks at them.
I honestly
was the worst one I've ever seen.
That's why
right,
the
Bucks
team
stuff.
came out so flat. Like, Tampa was completely flat the entire game last night. I think it's because they all had the players had to sit through that banner ceremony.
Stand, not just sit. Yeah. They had to stand. They had to like, mosey around on the ice and stare at different things, and then they had to mosey over here. And it's the entire roster. I assume the Penguins are just sitting in the locker room, like,
getting fired up.
When does the puck? 35 minutes. What are they going to do for the next? They did they ate up a large portion of ESPN's kickoff NHL coverage time.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, we flipped over there, and they were introducing all the players. Players had zero energy coming out.
Yeah.
Because, like, the most hockey thing of all time, it's not like they're going to come out and do the whole thing. They literally skated out, straight face, and a couple people waved their sticks. Thank you for acknowledging my existence. And that was it. So that lacked a little bit. Then they did a little stick tap in the middle. Cool. I respect a good stick tap. I thought that's when the banner was potentially going up. Nah. Got to skate down to the other end. Everybody needs to be in a half circle here, little half moon.
Yep.
And then we're going to watch this banner get unveiled in the slowest possible fashion. This thing was going literally the slowest movement I've ever seen in my entire life. And it was just slowly. This son of a bitch is a fucking 15-yard banner, too. Yeah. So if it's moving at an inch an hour, I mean, that's going to take some time. And some of the players, I saw them like look at it, and then they saw how slow it was going. And they didn't have watches, but there was like a little bit of like, how are we going to? And then they half raised it, then full raised it, then whole. It was a whole process last night.
On the other hand, did you see Vegas's pregame show?
Yes. That's what I was going to get to. The spectacular investment that is the Vegas pre-show.
Yeah.
This has been going on since the Vegas Golden Knights inception, which is 2 years ago?
Yep.
3 years ago. Whatever the case.
I want to say 2.
They had full Cirque du Soleil type shows before the hockey games because they first sport in Vegas. Vegas has all the entertainers, the showmen, everything like that, the incredible talent. And they've really leaned into that showman type thing over there.
Toughest barn in the NHL. I mean, I've been saying it time and time.
Toughest barn in the NHL.
Toughest barn in the NHL. You get in there, it's just a different atmosphere. You're just not used to that. You look at what was going on in Tampa. You get out in Vegas, it's like, I'm at a goddamn mind freak show. Chris Angel's about to come up from
Chris
the middle
Angel
of the ice.
He actually almost died at the halftime of the Chargers game, I think.
Really?
No, Raiders game. It had to be in Vegas, yeah.
Excuse me?
Yeah, it was the Bears.
He was in Raiders-Bears. They showed some of it on TV, but they had a graphic, a promotional ad.
Yeah, just blocking it.
Covering his upper body, which was straitjacketed, hanging upside down in the middle of the Field Stadium from the roof of the Allegiant Stadium. This is real.
So he was suspended like 500 feet in the air.
Down, yeah, like this, and he had a straitjacket on, and it was all the theater. I mean, he was struggling with that thing. And I don't know if they had made a deal with the audience that if he doesn't get out of this thing in 30 to 45 seconds, we'll have to drop him.
Drop him and kill him.
Have to kill him. Like, did they make that announcement?
Probably.
I assume.
If he does not get himself out of this straitjacket in the middle of 85,000 people at an NFL game, we will be forced to drop him and murder him. Mm-hmm. There's a lot on the line here, not just football-wise, magic-wise, but this man could die right here in front of you at halftime. Mega Bowl next. I don't know how this came to be, but I like that they're leaning into the talent around town.
Supposedly he's friends with Mark Davis.
Well, we need Carrot Top to become a friend with fucking Mark Davis. I'd like to see his ass out there at halftime as well.
Yeah.
But if there's no chance of death there, what does everybody think? Because
Why does he have knee pads on?
well,
For the fall.
What is that going to do?
For the fall.
Chris has been watching Cats. You know, when cats fall, you got to turn, and he's planning on going on all fours. I'm not sure that might be fashion too.
I
it
lost all
could be.
respect for him when he tried putting that balloon stunt over as a stunt.
That was David Blaine.
That wasn't
okay, I
Chris
wasn't
Angel.
Tony.
Tony.
That's on
Different
me.
guys.
That's on me.
Come on.
Jesus. He would have died if he didn't get out of there. Okay?
Sorry,
Respect
that's on
the
me.
craft.
That's on me.
Damn.
He was. As soon as I saw you really digging in deep for that, I knew there was no way he had any clue who the fuck that guy was.
No.
No idea. That David Blaine one, though, was.
Yeah,
I have a lot of respect for David
Might as
Blaine
well
still.
be a Melenda.
No, the Walendas,
Whoa.
the Mulendas. I'm sure somebody that you might have met before. The Walendas are the wild and wonderful Walendas.
Oh,
right?
yeah. Walking across volcanoes.
Yeah, allegedly.
Oh,
they used
come
to.
on,
The
that guy?
ancestors. No.
Now
you
they're tethered
can't-
with nets underneath.
Yeah, well, you can't you can't judge the entire Wallenda family just off of the basis of this generation of the Wallenda family.
And what have you done for me lately, though? What are we talking
I understand
about?
that's the society we're in, but you need to look into the past whenever they actually were daredevils and when they were actually attempting death-defying stunts. No, they can't do it. The networks won't let them.
They won't do it.
They won't let them. We got to strap you in. And the worst thing that can happen is a bungee jump over Niagara Falls, which actually sounds pretty sweet. But yeah, you might make it across too. And then halfway through, love to learn about the book that you're writing. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
Love to learn about that.
Yeah.
Listen, the Wallenda name is something that we need to keep in high regards because of what the ancestors did, not because of what they're allowed or not allowed to do now with the networks. Now, I would say the network's telling us that they're going to attempt a death-defying stunt, walking over, blah, blah, blah. That is setting the expectations at a level that you are literally not allowing the Wallenda family to go to.
Right.
There is zero death outcome with the way that thing is rigged and set up.
Can't have a guy die on national TV.
Which brings us to the next point. Were they actually going to drop Chris Angel?
I think so.
They were going to kill him.
I think so. Do you know how it played out? Do we know?
He got out.
He got out.
Oh,
and
he
they
did?
lowered him
Yeah, he
down.
got out.
So he hasn't lost his fastball. Okay.
Yeah, Chris Angel's still got it.
Okay.
Yeah, Chris Angel's still got it.
Just to clarify here, I do believe that was not Chris Angel. It was a different magician from the Vegas area.
No, I have it here. It says Chris Angel.
Okay,
It
yeah,
says Chris
that
Angel.
is a,
Well,
that
it
is
might
a
have been a
mind
double. It
That
might
is a
have been a
mind freak
double.
stunt. That is a mind freak stunt.
It sure
There's
didn't
no-
look like Chris Angel. I'm just throwing that out there.
There's no
okay?
question about it.
Might have been his apprentice.
Can confirm it was Chris Angel with 2 S's.
Yeah, dude, you didn't grow up in the Chris Angel mind freak reality show era. Okay, we did.
Yeah.
I watched a lot of those, but I mean, I think it's safe to say Chris Angel might have got some work done. Okay,
Actually, your tweet about is the second thing that pops up on Google when you search Chris
Oh,
Angel.
okay, dope. I'm happy to be a part of this. I went to one of his shows. He forced me into doing. He's wearing football pants.
I think Mark
He had actual knee pads
Does he have
on.
a fake face on?
Yeah, he has a fake face on. That is not Chris Angel. That or he's been eating McDonald's with Mark Davis for the last 5 years.
All right, I just want to
And
let
it only
everybody
went
know.
straight to his face.
I just want to let everybody know this is NFL related. Okay,
Uh-huh.
we have to talk about
cover
this.
it. Have to cover it.
Why is his penis a different color?
He's wearing football pants.
Tony, that's a girdle.
Anyways, that's because that's where you're strapped into the straight check. But anyways, Las Vegas leaning into that is a good idea.
Got to do it.
Yes.
I think it's a good idea. Now, the questions forever were, how do you keep the casinos and sports coexisting? That's why Vegas never had a team. And I think the Vegas natives, the Vegas, the people that don't just you see on the strip when you go there and just absolute insanity happens. And then you fly home. There's a bunch of people that live in that area that I think they're very excited to showcase how good of fans they are as well because they were never really given the opportunity due to the casino nature of it all. It is a tough barn. It is tough.
barn.
It's nothing like PPG Paint Arena, though, pal. It ain't nothing like it.
Garden.
Huh?
I ain't like the TD Bank North Garden, I'll tell you that much.
What about, is that actual barn in Long Island still a place for the
Knock
Coliseum?
that down.
that place was awesome.
Yeah.
Tough
I
part.
think it's dead.
I do believe they blew that thing up.
I would like to let everybody know at this moment that if we get enough money to buy an NFL team, okay, and we need to look for a new stadium, we're not going to take the sellout route. We are going to make that thing tight. It is going to be a
Cameron
Sitting on
Crazies.
top of
Sitting
each
on
other.
top of
It
it.
is going to be.
Have the stands go straight up.
Yeah. Well, the issue is you can't get a lot of people to live events anymore, like the games and stuff like that. Football, NFL. I don't know if you can't. Obviously, people can. There's an incredible business, SeatGeek, that gives tickets, and you see stadiums filled. So what I'm saying is, later in the season, if your team isn't in contention and the weather's potentially turning, and you can watch every game from the comfort and the confines of your own home, which you were forced to be in for 18 months, and some people might have picked up new habits and hobbies, by the way, and learning that they might be homebodies much more so than ever. How do you continue to keep people going to games and interested in paying what they have to pay to get into those stadiums? I think if we look at the Rams and Chargers new stadium, the way they're going to do it is the suite thing. They have suites everywhere, I guess. So you and your friends can go. There's other TVs in there, I believe, so you can watch the other games. Wi-Fi, I think, think is boosted in your. They're trying to make it an experience. If you build a stadium that is just a rompous atmosphere, like I think people will come because it's something to do, but you certainly lose out on the massive amount of revenue that people are going to be getting for all these suites. I think we're going to turn into a suite stadium era. Like I think that's going to become something where people that maybe weren't able to afford what the suites were, or maybe the suites were locked away by a certain group of people in every single city. That seems to be how it is everywhere I've traveled to. Is there is one group of people that basically own each suite in every city, and they either sell it themselves or they go and use it. And now stadiums are becoming more suites available, and it's probably going to become the same exact thing, just with more suites. I think we're going to hit that era. And to be honest, I think I kind of like it. I think it's a good no way.
Adaptation.
Is that a word?
Yes.
Yeah.
God, I should have pulled the trigger. I knew it was sitting right fucking there, you know what I mean? Yeah. That's a good adaptation by these people on figuring out their problem that they could potentially have, though, I think.
Especially when you see all these videos of these massive fights in the crowd and stuff, too. I feel like more people are going to be like, I don't want to spend a bunch of money to go have some drunk asshole like dump a Pepsi or a beer on me and then just have a huge maul happen around me. Like, I'll pay a little bit more to go sit in a nice seat in a suite with people I know. Like,
what's that?
It's not just a little bit more.
Yeah, but I think they'll be able to make it as groups because they'll make the suites bigger.
If there's more of them, then it's
those towns ain't blue collar.
That's
definitely not. But
well, I agree. Those like Pittsburgh, I think Heinz Field will be able to become because Pittsburgh's fans, that place has been sold out forever. And there's going to be generational fans of teams that will continue to remain, like Green Bay. And there's obviously, I think New England will be able to sustain that whole thing. But there's a lot of stadiums that do not have that. Whether it's a newer fan base, they don't win as much, they haven't been around. There's a lot of those. And those people are all trying to figure out how do we get people to go to the games. I think it's going to be the suites, I think, personally.
Yeah, and what New England does, they have like these two, they have all the suites, of course, but then there's like the Putnam Club, and it's sponsored by them or whatever. And it's just like a very nice seat, but it's a ton of them that are basically above the like inner bowl down below. So it's basically the best seats you have. And also like the Arlington Park, like a lot of teams are going to make their whole entire stadium like the
casino,
hotels, like the Patriot Place, like basically a mall around your stadium where you can spend like an entire weekend and not have to leave that area
and just rake in cash.
Yeah, I mean, look, the Cowboys make $70 million, right? I think that's
one home game. Yeah, because remember, a player in a team, if they were not vaccinated, caused a game to be forfeited in Jerry World. The team and the player were going to be fined $73 million.
Yep.
Think about that. A $73 million fine could be handed down if a game in Dallas is postponed or canceled because a non-vaccinated player or a non-vaccinated coach caused something. Everybody was like, the owners were like, hey, listen, I ain't paying anybody $73 million, so guess what you all are doing?
Yeah.
You all are getting vaccinated.
Yep.
That's becoming a thing in the NBA now, huh?
Oh yeah. God.
That's a big storyline.
Uh-huh.
I am super pumped that I don't have to be the person that has to figure that out or deal with that.
That's no kidding.
Hey, those are two very strong opinions.
Mm-hmm.
That is politics in the sports world right there. There are, I guess time will be the judge on all of these things in the real world, by the way. And I can't believe that never happens. Like in our world, freezing cold takes, great account. They hold people accountable for their sports predictions. How come that never happens in the world where they yell at each other all the time? Or does it, and I just don't know? Is there an accountability situation over there?
I don't know, because by the time that one person's been proven wrong, there's already...
They're yelling about something new.
Yeah. 10 new things have already come up.
I don't know much about the world. We have gotten into it here the last day because of Aaron's answer to what happened. And anytime the real world makes its way into sports, like it's going to potentially... draw some conversation or whatever. But getting a chance to hear that and people yell and the whole, like, is there ever a freezing cold takes in that world, I wonder? And with that being said, like, time will tell on this entire situation. Yeah. But all I know as an observer and a reporter who did get vaccinated because, little conversations. And also, my life was made much easier to get vaccinated. And I'm not the most intelligent person in this field. So, hey, if my life is going to be made easier, let's hope I don't die. I have no idea what's going to happen. But I do know that if you're against it and if you're for it, you are very passionate about it. And it sounds like Kyrie is saying, hey, I'm a voice for the voiceless. I think he's very passionate about it. And I believe if you just think about the $73 million fine that was potentially going to happen to an owner if a game got missed, I assume the NBA owners are very passionate about, to the tune of a lot of money. And that is going to just continue to go. And that's going to be a situation that blows up, I think.
Well, and I think the Nets already said, like, hey, this is what it is. Like, if you don't get vaccinated, you're not playing. So that's kind of end of discussion, and we'll see where it goes from here. Like, I mean, I don't.
But now Kyrie is becoming a political hero.
Oh yeah, for sure.
From people that I would assume he never in his life thought he would be heralded as a hero by. Yeah. I would assume. This is just what I'm seeing from the internet. This is a fascinating situation. And by the way, the only person that'll judge who was right, who was wrong, who won is time. Just like in everything else. Just like in this world, I don't know if there's a freezing cold takes over there, but I hope there is sometime, because I'd like to know who I should listen to whenever I start dabbling into that world at some point, maybe 5-10 years from now when I become an older person. But I'd just like to hear the scoreboard. I'd like to check the scoreboard and know who's right, who's wrong. And I think that if you're on either side, that is what you should be pointing at as well. And it feels like everybody has their own scoreboard, though. And that becomes the problem.
Maybe we should start that account and have Mitt run it and him watch all the news every day and every night.
Well, the thing about Mitt is he would be hovering over the scoreboard. And it's tough to look down at all the different scoreboards that every particular party, team, affiliation, idea, opinion has whenever you're so high you can't see from that angle.
Can't be missing touchdowns when you're trying to keep score, you know?
Yeah, for the real world.
Right.
There's so many different scoreboards over there, by the way.
Oh, yeah.
How do you listen to one particular person? And they are educated, sophisticated, everything that you're supposed to be, and they're saying something this way. Equal, maybe even classmate of person. Same school, same classes, same degree, same everything. Completely opposite.
Very interesting.
How the fuck does that happen? And people wonder why there's like disagreements or whatever. It's like, well, I think the people that in the history of our time that would normally be the people that would be like, hey, this is how it goes. Now there's a lot of those people. And it's like, who were the right ones? That's why we need a freezing cold takes for the real world.
That's right.
How do we know what team's good? There's a scoreboard. One scoreboard. I don't know much about the real world. I've just been, they kind of dropped us in there in the last 24 hours, and I've kind of spectated from afar a little bit. I think you guys just need one scoreboard. I think that'll change. I think they just need one scoreboard.
You can somehow figure that out.
It's impossible.
One scoreboard would be cool. And maybe, that'd be great.
Yeah.
Did we just fix the world?
Yeah.
Boom.
All right, so people in the real world, you guys need to just be working on getting one unified scoreboard. Mm-hmm. And then we'll be able to know who we should listen to, who we shouldn't listen to, which person who is a exact peer of this other person who's saying the polar opposite thing. We'll know which one normally wins and which one normally doesn't because we'll have the scores.
Bingo.
That's what we do in sports. You're welcome. Happy we can take that into your world and take care of it. We're back in 4 minutes with Adam Thielen on the hot Minnesota Vikings squad that people are saying might be looking to roll through the NFC North.
Wow.
Adam Thielen, 2 big catches in a game-winning drive. Kirk Cousins, Zimmer. There's a lot to talk about over there. Is Dalvin Cook, how's he doing, Adam? And also, how's the golf game in that simulator of yours? 4 minutes to Adam Thielen. We'll see you then. Cheers.
Joe Burrow, I enjoyed watching him in college. He had a hell of a year the last year. I really enjoyed how much them winning allowed us to hear Coach O and his mastery of the English language. I enjoy his dialect and the way that he talks. It's pretty amazing. Hear him say, "Go Tigers!"
Go Tigers! Yeah. Go Tigers. I said that on ESPN one time, and ESPN got a letter from the PR person asking why I was mocking the way he was speaking. He was like, no, I was honoring the way that guy.
Homage.
Hey, go Tigers down there. Right there's a partner.
He's got quite the pronunciations, even, comparatively to a guy like yourself from Pittsburgh. You guys have a hard time talking sometimes, but I think I can understand Pittsburghese a lot better than than Coach O most of the time. But all this to say, I'm a Joe Burrow fan. I enjoy the way he goes about his business. I enjoy the way that he plays with confidence. I will tell you the thing that I told him, which I've told other quarterbacks from time to time: slide. slide. I said you're too damn talented. You got so much in front of you to accomplish in this league. Just sometimes you got to slide. You know, I would have said the same thing to Andrew. You know, Andrew initially got hurt in Indy, you know, being Superman and running guys over and stuff. Like, the only guy who I've told to slide who really didn't need to hear it and still doesn't is the guy that was playing last night, because he's so damn fast and talented and strong around the ball, man. You can keep running like that for a lot of years, Lamar. You don't need to slide. But everybody else, like, you know, just slide every now and then.
We talk about, hey,
take on a bunch of guys.
Hey, what's the most beer you did in one night, you think, of one of those shows?
Well, I never forget when we went to Japan one time. Dudley, Stacy Keebler. I mean, there were so many people out there. I think we went through 103 or 108. Now, between just for myself, you know, I'd always make sure to have about a 12 or 18 pack there. And, you know, here's the thing when some people say, oh, shit, man, you got too much of that beer on. You don't even know how to drink beer. It's like, dude, fuck you. You don't know what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to entertain 20,000 people in an arena. If I just go out there and sip it real properly, how fucking exciting is that? So when you're out there on an empty belly and you're shotgunning beers and all that shit's going in, the half that was going in was for me. The half that was going on was for them.
Nice.
But I'm telling you, Pat, when you shotgun a bunch of beers like that and you're drinking about half of each beer, you got a pretty damn good buzz when you come out. And that's a sacrifice I was willing to make every single night.
I would assume you were pretty fucked up, yeah. When did you start self-cheersing? When did you start self-cheersing? Was that something you did in college? You're like, hey, Steve, good for me, man. Like, when did that start?
No, you know what? You know, I got to give credit to Sandman for starting that, but he was bashing him off his head, and I don't remember, and it wasn't because Sandman was doing it, so I don't want to say I copied him, but he was the first. So, and then my style was, because people always get us confused. They'll say, yeah, man, you used to bang them on your head. No, motherfucker, I was the guy that clacked them together. It was just something we came up with. I don't know how the beers got introduced to the ring, but it became a thing, and we ran with it.
This is the Pat McAfee Show on Sirius XM Mad Dog Sports Radio. We thank you for taking the time to seek out this small regional show that streams internationally. Here's Pat and the boys.
Whether you've been in a relationship for years or just getting started or are excited to get back out there and meet new people, when the moment comes, you want to be ready.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
Roman ready. With Roman, you can get a free online evaluation and ongoing care for erectile dysfunction, all from the comfort and privacy of your home. Roman ready means confidence. The confidence that you know you can rise to the occasion in the moment. A U.S. licensed healthcare professional will work with you to find the best treatment plan. If medication is appropriate, it ships to you free with 2-day shipping.
Oh, wow.
The whole process is straightforward, convenient, and discreet. Go to GetRoman.com/McAfee today, and if you're prescribed, you can get 50% off your first month of ED treatment. That's GetRoman.com/MCAFEE, and if you're prescribed, get 50% off your first month of ED treatment. I thought I misread that.
Yeah, 50%. That's crazy.
I thought my eyes were seeing things.
Yeah.
You know how my eyes saw my eyes in those glasses that one day?
Oh, yeah.
I thought my eyes were seeing something else right here when it said 50% off if you're
50%?
prescribed.
That's too much.
Make sure you're ready to have confidence and control this summer. Roman ready. I don't know if it's too much, but I do know it means that you should get it checked out, dude. Honestly. You're not alone, and it probably means that you have something else going on with you that they'll figure it out. That's why it's
Nice.
licensed U.S. healthcare professional. Welcome back to the show. Pat McAfee Show here on Sirius XM Channel 82, Mad Dog Sports Radio, and YouTube.com/The Pat McAfee Show. We are having difficulties connecting with Adam Thielen.
Whoa.
Well, not like Kirk Cousins.
So true.
He's been able to find them easily. Allegedly, maybe a number or tech is not happening. We apologize to the Vikings listeners that potentially thought an absolute legend was coming on. We cannot connect with him right now. We are still trying to do it. Zito is looking stern at a computer right now.
Yeah, we're just dialing out right now. Hopefully he answers. He might still be in practice, to be honest with you.
Oh, he was coming after practice Tuesday. Don't know if it's their off day or Wednesday.
Yeah.
Work day.
This is 2 times now.
Workday
This
Wednesday.
is 2 days. I actually asked Nick how he was ready for That's Hockey Talk tonight, yesterday, and he was like, no, that's on Wednesday. So I was like, God damn it, I did that during the show,
I'm
too.
just happy you acknowledged it, to be honest.
Hey, it's happening, man. It's a big thing tonight. What time?
8 p.m.
Here we go.
Here we go, boys.
YouTube.com/That's Hockey Talk. I don't know who's playing, what it's going to be, but I will listen to you guys. I'll be in the comment section probably alongside everybody else. It's a good time. Let's get to some phone calls. I guess 1-833-4-McAfee if you want to get on the 5-Hour Energy phone line. It's a shame we can't connect with Thielen. He is probably practicing. It is a Wednesday. This is install for first and second downs on the offense normally. Then tomorrow, third downs, and then red zone. We can't thank Thielen enough. If he does make time, whenever he gets here, we'll chat with him. Another great conversation to be had about the NFL right now. Jim Irsay.
Oh,
yeah.
jeez.
Jim Irsay he's our favorite billionaire, I think. I don't know about everybody. He's my favorite billionaire. He's obviously helped me out immensely in my life. He has paid me a bunch of money. He has come on this show. He is a man that I've had incredible conversations with, learned a lot about, and through following either his life documented or via Twitter, I think to myself, if I'm a billionaire and I own a team, I hope I can be half as cool as that guy. Everybody's heard about his collection of musical stuff. He's got Jimi Hendrix guitars. He's got Paul McCartney guitars. He put the Beatles back together one time. Had to buy some old buddies, the drummers.
Ringo Starr.
Ringo Starr's drums to bring the band back together. He loves music. He loves success, and he loves football. He played college football. He grew up in the Baltimore Colts organization, literally as an equipment manager, as a ball boy. Then he kind of moved through there. Same jobs Mitt had, by the way, as a child growing up in the NFL. But his dad happened to own a team, so he was around. He said he grew up in the locker room. So this is a guy who understands football. I think a lot of people talk shit on Jim Irsay potentially for some of the demons that he's had to battle throughout his entire life. And those are, self-inflicted. I think he would even say that. But Jim Irsay is a guy who's been around the NFL for a long time and actually knows football. So whenever decisions are made for the Indianapolis Colts, Chris Ballard, I think, would say that Jim will give me everything I need. I have to go tell him. He has to agree. He has to be on the same page as it. Jim Irsay loves being involved, but also lets people work. I think that is something that he absolutely will do. So whenever he saw that his team was inevitably 1-4, and when Jim Irsay knows that what the expectations are for this team outside the building and what his expectations have always been because of how much he loves football and loves the Indianapolis Colts. When he drafted Andrew Luck, he was very open as saying this era is going to win more Super Bowls than the Peyton Manning era. We need to win multiple Super Bowls, he said. This is the expectation that I have. This is where I'm holding the team at. This is what I would like. And I think even in doing so, he acknowledged that probably should have got more during the Peyton Manning era for one reason or another, and shit rolls downhill. So maybe he takes a little bit of onus on that for the decisions that were made whenever, however, even though he's not on the field and he's not the one devising the strategy or whatever. So whenever he hits the internet and starts putting out not song lyrics or not giveaways, in which he does massive amounts of giveaways on his Twitter account basically every single day. He does a lot of that. But when he starts talking about the team, I feel like it is coming from a point where he's fed up. Like he's at the point where he's like, I'm not watching this shit anymore. So he put out a tweet, and by watching this shit, I don't think that's a knock on anybody. I think he's letting everybody know, hey, this is the expectations that I have for this team. I am invested. He said, Colts Nation, don't you worry. Brother, we're going to get the horseshoe at least 2 Lombardis this decade. As sure as the sun rises and the seasons change, it's coming. Don't you ever doubt that. Ever. You will see greatness. Believe, and you will see a rally cry from Jim Irsay, because I think he's feeling exactly like they're feeling. He could have never expected the team to be 1-4 or 5 games in. Knew it was going to be a tough season. Knew it was going to be a tough start to his schedule. But with the investment, bringing in Carson Wentz, which is another like $100 million worth of contracts, the team that he's built up, he paid Quentin, he paid Darius Leonard. He's going to have to make a lot. He's paying a lot of people. He saw the expectations, the projections, how the team did last year. Now they're 1-4, and he's like, I ain't doing this shit either. We are going to win. I don't know what that means. I have no idea what he's implying. Maybe he's thinking this team will turn it around this year. Maybe he's thinking, although it's not great right now, we have a good future. And then he said, if you want to come talk to me, if you have anything to say, there's no hope or try. Okay, it's can do. Mister is his tweet. And I think that was a follow-up to those expectations for when he's talking to anybody. And he says, this is what I like to do. I'd like to win multiple Lombardis. I'd like to have the horseshoe back in prominence. And they say, I'm going to try my best to do that. And Mr. Irsay, this is how I took this. Don't try, okay? You can do. Shut the fuck up and go do.
Yeah.
And I love that. I enjoy that. But there's no way he thought his team was going to be 1-4 right now. This goes back to the point that John Mara made when he said he's tired of telling his billionaire friends why his team stinks, so that's why he invested in the team. Jim Irsay loves football, has a lot of football buddies. All his friends are considered like football. They fly to all the games with him. I mean, he is... And now he has 1-4 team. I assume he's not happy. I wonder what's going on in that building over there.
Well, and on top of it, he's coming off a summer where, he's with Peyton and Edge getting inducted into the Hall of Fame, and they're coming back. Yeah, exactly. Like, he's reminded of all the success they have had. And like you said, there's no way they thought they'd be 1-4. Like, when I saw this, and to your point about him, he never tweets stuff like this, really. So you assume, like, okay, he's lighting a fire under Reich. Somebody's ass. Like, and whether it's Ballard, too, like, he's fed up for sure, because it's crazy. It's early, but like you don't expect this kind of stuff.
It's crazy to think this, but there is a narrative out there, and I'm observing and reporting. Please, I'm a conduit of information that is happening out there. There are people that are like Ballard and Frank need to get the fuck out of here. They just got extensions, like 4 or 5 year extensions. Their team was in the playoffs last year. Andrew Luck retired 9 days before the season, which has kind of thrown an entire plan into a muck in, I would assume, Chris Ballard's eyes. But this is the NFL, and in Indianapolis, to your point about glory days, a lot of winning here for a long time. I'm not, obviously, New England for 20 years was able to stack Lombardis, and it was unbelievable. It's unprecedented. It's an anomaly what they were able to do. But here when Peyton was on and everybody was there, this team won all the time.
Yeah.
And I don't know if Jim Irsay got used to that. I know he knows it's very difficult because there were some bad days here in Indianapolis before the Peyton era, and that entire team that doesn't get enough credit, and there's not enough time to read through everybody, but the team that is associated with just the Peyton Manning era, there was a lot of winning. Turn this town into a football town as opposed to a basketball and a racing town, which is what it was for a long time. And now, if there's any sense of complacency or chance that the team's going to stink, they don't they're not happy about it. Midwest is real. Hoosier hospitality is a real thing. But there's real expectations with the Indianapolis Colts team, especially after what happened last year. Getting Carson Wentz in here, I thought Carson played his best game last game.
Very well.
400 yards.
He threw for 400 yards. He looked like a quarterback. He was making passes. But when you invest in the team and expectations are what they are and they don't work out, this is not a city that is just going to be quiet about it. I mean, there's people wearing bags over their head that year. We almost went completely defeated showing up. It's like, yo, go over to Cleveland. This team is the winningest day. The guy who's the quarterback had 45 wires sticking out of his neck. Yeah. Like, what do you want to happen? They have high expectations here, as they should, and so does Jim Irsay.
Yeah, but even to your point, like that Peyton Manning era teams, they were so good and they only won one. Like, it is so hard to win Super Bowls in the NFL, especially with the young quarterback talent. Like, does Irsay really want to go through another terrible year to get another Andrew Luck, and then hopefully they can have that quick turnaround like they did then? Because it seems so unlikely.
I think Jim would just open the checkbook up. Mm-hmm. I don't think he's going to be looking. They got Phillip Rivers instead of trying to get draft picks to get a young quarterback. They got Carson Wentz instead of trying to get a draft pick to get a young quarterback. I think Jim Irsay is at the stage of the game where we are not rolling the dice anymore. We are going to try for this entire thing, but you have to keep it in the back of your mind. There was a chance maybe that Tom Brady would come here.
Yeah, and Matt Stafford.
And to that point, that's like people who've been around.
Matthew Stafford was looking at houses on Zillow in Indianapolis.
Yeah.
Not Carson Wentz had a game. He just threw for 400.
Yeah, great game.
He's 1-4.
He just threw for 400. Okay, let's not get crazy. But I do believe that is where Jim Irsay will look.
To the rookie quarterback thing, like you better be damn well sure, like because Tomlin just came out like if Glazer's report is true, which Jay knew, it's true.
Jay knew.
Like
hashtag.
We don't feel like dealing with some young puppy that we're going to have to groom. Like, give me someone I know what they can do.
Did Jay say on this show or on another show that he and Tomlin had a good time together whenever he was doing his training camp tour?
Yep, that was this show.
This one. Mm-hmm. And then they were at the Bucko game together, a night after that?
They are tight.
So that's what we have to remember with these insiders, too. Who's tight with who? You know, if something comes out from Schrags about Sean McVay, who he co-hosted a show with, all right, let's assume that is accurate. Mm-hmm. If Jay Glazer is spotted in a suite with a head coach and also tells a story about his friendship with a head coach, and then he's saying something about the head coach, let's assume that's accurate. Yeah. If Adam Schefter speaking for Bruce Allen, I'm joking. That was fucked up.
Oh, we can.
Well, no, I think it plays.
Assume that's accurate.
I know, literally, I just saw that entire thing. It's a little bit negative. It's a little rude. Fascinating shit happening with the Bruce Allen investigation continuing to unfold. Obviously, John Gruden's emails back and forth with Bruce Allen were leaked to the public via the New York Times and other ways. This is an NFL investigation, not a federal investigation. So the NFL had to leak those emails to somebody. They had to have wanted to get those out, obviously, because they were incredibly terrible and damning. But how many more emails people are questioning now? Because they gave out the number. New York Times reported over 650,000 emails were gone through over a 7-year period of Bruce Allen's conduct to figure out whether the workplace environment was detrimental or something, whatever they were doing their investigation. So John Gruden was the first one that we learned about. Mm-hmm. And I said this yesterday. If John Gruden was that comfortable to send that email like that over a 7-year period to Bruce Allen, okay, however long it was, if he's that comfortable to send those, and then Bruce Allen said, how many other people are comfortable with Bruce enough to be saying, if Bruce Allen's giving out the vibes like, yeah, that's how this conversation should go, how many other people? And I think that was immediately what a lot of the journalists started peeking there, like, ooh, okay, so this is the tip of the iceberg. There's probably going to be more. I think I even heard a lot of people use that analogy, like this is the iceberg that is going to open this whole thing up. So today it was Schefter sent an email to Bruce Allen during the lockout about a report he was going to put out and asked Mr. Editor, is how he cleverly coined Bruce Allen, if anything needed to be added, changed, or tweaked about a story he was about to put out there. Everybody automatically now starts assuming that Schefter has to be okaying every narrative that he is breaking. Every news, everything he says has to obviously be coming from some sort of narrative pushing agenda that's at the top that he has to correspond with now, because this is just one email about one situation. Who knows how many others there are, especially whenever you're Schefter, who has news breaking at all times. And we watch a special about him, he's plugged in all the time.
Nonstop. Right.
Okay? Could he have, and I don't want to play devil's advocate, Schefter stopped coming on our show, basically. So
long time ago.
Long time.
We're rap sheet guys.
Yeah. So, and Schefter's probably a nice guy. He came on our show before, so I appreciate his time. Rap sheet is the guy that comes on our show every time we ask, though. So I appreciate the hell out of rap sheet. Schefter could have been, the way it was worded, I guess, makes it sound as if he's only allowed to say what he's allowed to say, and this is the agenda you have to push. I guess that's kind of how it was written. But could he have been getting like his facts corrected or no? And he called him Mr. Editor because Bruce Allen was maybe a part of the entire process. And like, is there any way that could happen? Because I think immediately everybody, especially after the accumulation of information situation with Aaron Rodgers on draft day, there's been a lot of things called into question over old Shefty's information. So I think that's why it's such a big deal. But it is wild. I mean, people have been waiting for this name. It's Shefty and it's Gruden. Those are two mega names in the NFL world. Who else is going to be coming out of this?
Yeah, something I'm still not clear on with that, too, because I saw a lot of people who are journalists saying that it was whether or not Schefter sent him the entire story or just parts that he was quoting Bruce Allen, because they were basically saying, like, hey, if he sent this guy the entire story, like, you can't be doing that. Like, as a journalist, like, you wouldn't ever do that. You would send it to the parts he was specifically commenting on and saying, hey, does any of this stuff need to be tweaked? And I still don't know if it was just those pieces or the entire story.
I think the report was the entire story.
So, and I think that's what a lot of journalists were like, hey,
because you can change the entire narrative over the entire story as opposed to just the quotes.
Right.
Got it. So that's the big deal here.
I think so.
So everything he says, we got to take it as such.
Yep.
Who's that? Which, by the way, we have been.
Yeah.
This is what we've been preaching from the beginning of the show. Just kind of hit me in this whole thing. Who is the person giving the information? How did they get the information? And what does the information accomplish? That is what you should always think about in everything, not just in our world, by the way. I mean, we already fixed the real world. We said you guys just need a scoreboard.
Yep.
Because then that legitimizes some people and doesn't other people, and that would help out, I think, immensely. Just get a scoreboard and just get a unified score. I think that's it.
Simple.
In this particular one, though, ask why everybody is saying what they're saying, who's behind it, why, and who benefits from it. You have to. And then you act accordingly.
Yeah.
And then you take from all of that, you try to eliminate the bullshit and get the real shit in there.
Mm-hmm.
That's the show. I mean, I feel like we accomplished something today.
Yes.
Wow.
Look at us.
Good hour.
I mean, we are in the real world all of a sudden. Adam Thielen wasn't available, obviously, to come on. He was at practice. Hour 2, we'll see Chuck Pagano.
Here we go.
We're back in about 6 minutes on this Coaches Up Chuck, October 13th. We'll see you then. This is the Pat McAfee Show.
About the Bruins winning the Cup finally this year.
They're not.
That's not
Yeah, they are.
No, the Pittsburgh Penguins are bringing it home. It's coming home.
Penguins lost to
Hockey
Ned.
Town is back.
Red
You
Wings
guys
stink.
fucking stink.
Red Wings fucking stink.
Players can't even play. They're not allowed to.
Yeah, you guys aren't even allowed to play hockey. And you weren't even invited to the hockey tournament a couple years ago when it was in a bubble in the middle of a world stoppage. Your team wasn't even invited. You're not a team. Bruins, you guys stink.
We're very good.
You guys are all playing for second, and fucking Stoner's still, lacing up the skates.
You guys lost Flower.
You guys ran Flurry out of time.
Exactly.
You don't have a goalie. You don't have a goalie.
You don't have a goalie.
You don't have
No, you don't have a
We're going to
goalie.
take your goalie.
2K.
What some of the best GMs in the history of the game have done. They've gone out and they've given their guys a chance to win. When there's a void in the lineup, when there's a scratch, when there's a guy banged up, they go out and they pick someone up. So we went out and we found a guy. He's a guy. He's got jam. He's got grit. He's got sandpaper. And this fucking guy can score. He ain't no bummer. This guy scored.
Who is it? Who is
A
it?
Game 7 Stanley Cup winning goal.
What?
Okay? Ladies and gentlemen, it's Rupper. We got Rupper.
Right off the waiver wire. Thanks for claiming me, boys. I appreciate it.
Hey, thanks for showing up on time, Rupper. Great to have you.
You know what, man? First shift, and I'm already -1. First shift, and -1.
You threw some hands every once in a while. Who's the toughest guy you fought?
Toughest guy I fought was probably Jody Shelley. He was tough. He beat me all the time.
Yeah, but you had that classic line where you told him he was fucking irrelevant. Nothing he does out here matters. That was awesome.
And then I knew I had to answer to saying that a couple weeks later. And I got shelled. I played him the next game. I'm getting ready. I'm like, oh, here we go. Get my ass kicked. And I go out there, and sure enough, we fight. He beats me up. And I'm like, good, dude. We're even now. You beat me up. Cool. Probably Colton Orr. Colton Orr was tough.
Oh, big boy.
And then outside of that, we'll save it for another show here. I got a great fight story when I was in Pittsburgh against Dahn, man. It's a classic. But he was
Hey, good tease.
Changed the rule. I think maybe he was on the Flyers.
Yeah.
That was it. He couldn't do it anymore.
You know what, Gumps? It was funny because that was the same time. So that was the. We're not going with Gumps. Is that not
No, I love it.
good.
It's like,
That's
hey,
good. Hey,
this is how I know
good
you're the
hockey
ultimate
talk.
hockey guy.
That's good
The guy's
hockey
already
talk,
got a
bro.
nickname.
Yeah, man.
And you
I
just
don't know.
drop it and change it.
It's always that in ER, and I thought Gumper sounded pretty lame, so I went with Gumps. Like, all right, we can go with whatever.
All right, 0-0. Make it 2-0. Make it. Nice. 1-0. Oh, 2-1. Oh, here we go. This. 4. Oh! Wow! That's good ball. That's good you ball. That's actually good. Top 10. Top 4-2. Woo! Oh!
guys got it.
Speed run, dude. 11. Oh. Oh, no. They quit the ball cap. Give him no chance. Oh, geez. Oh, what? That is hard to make a shot. It's hard.
All right. We can't boys.
Yeah. First time in history. That's the first time.
Is that you? No, we still tired.
Oh. Okay, we got team.
Oh, it's 12?
Yeah. Oh.
Yeah, boy.
So the Young Bucks said, hey, can we speed the game up a little bit when we yell out the score? I mean, that thing ended before it even started. We didn't even get through a full inning. No.
The Pat McAfee Show.
There will be no rules for our guests, for us, for the things we can talk about. Yes,
Speaking his mind
I've never had a problem expressing my opinions or my thoughts or anything like that.
while being relatable.
I haven't had that manufactured fake-ass celebrity that a lot of people have whenever they go on those big networks. I've had a chance to really build my crew, build my following, build my audience.
And ridiculous.
What am I supposed to do? So I'm supposed to look at something that I can definitely afford and say, nah. Is that what I'm supposed to do?
The Pat McAfee Show starts in 3, 2, 1.
Welcome back to that show, hour 2 on this beautiful Coach Us Up Chuck Wednesday, October 13th, 2021, years after zero. We'll begin right now.
Yeah.
Hockey's back. It was back last night. So pumped up about it because the Pittsburgh Penguins are undefeated.
Hell yeah.
The Vegas Golden Knights also undefeated.
Hell yeah.
And the Seattle Kraken as an organization have never won a fucking game, dude.
Yikes.
Shout out to the ESPN era of the NHL. And Turner, I believe, is tonight.
Yep, TNT tonight.
Okay, here we go. Biz, Gretzky, and the boys. I saw
right.
Mark Messier almost break the desk outside of the rink. I don't know if you guys saw that.
No, what'd he do?
He was on there with Chelios, I believe.
Oh, yeah.
And Levy. And
Barry Melrose.
That's
a good group.
Hey, Barry had the and this thing was full back. Hope Barry's okay. Love Barry, absolutely. But Mark Messier, yeah, in the middle of it, he was I don't think he was being talked to. He leaned on the table, and the whole left side of the table popped up like this, and then you saw him put it back down, and boom, right back down. And he's oh. And then he went back and did that thing. You know, they're working it out. First day on
That's Mess, baby. He's got some of the most dangerous elbows in the game.
Hey, so he was a great leader, huh? The Mark Messier Leadership Award he's like the Walter Payton of the NHL. Is that kind of what it is?
That's his thing. It's like when Gretzky left, Messier stepped up, and he was the guy. He was the captain. And then he went to New York. He captained them to a Stanley Cup, their first Stanley Cup in like 50 years. That's his deal.
I don't think I know enough about old Mark Messier. Whenever he bopped that table, though, I was like, all right, here's my guy. And Chelios, what? He was Chelios, a little bit of a scrappy guy, right?
Oh, yeah.
Chicago.
Legend.
Blackhawks legend.
Hell yeah.
Chris Chelios.
Red Wing legend.
No,
Please.
Blackhawks.
Chicago.
Anyways, it was great to see hockey on Sports Channel. You know, that was good news. I think a lot of people are going to love it. There's a lot to go on in the world that we're in. Joining us now is a college football national champion, Super Bowl champion, Ryder Cup champion, and a man who called me a bad husband yesterday. Ladies and gentlemen, AJ Hawk.
That's false. That is absolutely false. You know that. I'm sorry that you took it that way, but hey, I appreciate you putting it out there. Let's figure it out.
Well, you alluded to me being a bad husband, and then I had to remember about the 4 agreements, dude.
That's right.
Don't take anything personally.
Yeah.
It's this one right here. I
Who
mean,
would have known? See, this is why Aaron started this, because he knew it's going to help out so many people.
in the moment it didn't. I was like, oh, fuck off, AJ. How about that? That's literally how I was at the moment. They called me a bad husband. What's this all about out of nowhere? But then I remembered the 4 agreements on life, and it's great to have you as it is every single day. AJ, did you watch any hockey last night? No.
I saw a little bit. I didn't sit down and turn on and watch from start to finish, but I checked in a few times. Yeah, looked cool. I wanted to see what it was like on ESPN. How the feel was. It felt like there's a lot of energy in those. What do you call them, in the barns?
In the barns, with the ice in the middle of the barn diner. Yeah, you know what it is. Tampa Bay, good hockey town. I mean, it's not hockey town like Pittsburgh, but I think this is good for the sport because ESPN covered it all day yesterday. There's people that know nothing about hockey on ESPN talking about hockey yesterday. And there's going to be a lot of hockey people who are like, oh, why is this fucking person talking about hockey? It's like, it's growing the game. All right, let's not, beggars can't be choosers out here. There's only some people that are at some network, so you're not going to get all the hockey experts maybe talking about hockey all day, but I hope the hockey community knows that this is good for hockey.
They don't appreciate it at all. And then like all the new camera angles ESPN tried last night, it's good to see that they're at least trying something. You may not like it initially, but give it a chance. If it doesn't work, they'll move away from it.
I thought the hockey community would hate it because it's better. Everything's better. Like the Stadium Series camera, I've been talking about this for years in the hockey world, and we talked a lot of hockey today, and mostly because the only football stories were all drama.
Yeah.
Basically, we're in the middle of football season, so it's like, all right, maybe we don't do that. But in the Stadium Series, the Pens played in a lot of them because Sidney Crosby is the greatest player to ever play, so they would put him, obviously, in the biggest stadiums and stages everywhere. And they would have a sky cam, just like in football, that would be flying behind, and it was as if you were a part of the team skating down. And you could see plays develop, and you were able to see shots, as opposed to just waiting and looking for where the puck goes. I thought it was beautiful. And I said on the show immediately after, how come we can't get that in arenas? We have the capabilities to do it. I got killed by the hockey community. I mean, I got absolutely killed by the hockey community for even asking for such a thing to change the game completely. I'm happy ESPN's doing it. And by the way, watching it in the arena last night, it looked awesome. Yeah. It looked like I was about to score a fucking goal against the Tampa Bay Lightning last night, AJ. It was awesome.
Well, isn't the NHL and just hockey in general, aren't they resistant to change? They don't want people coming in and putting their spin on. That's what makes hockey special, I think. That's definitely part of it, like the history, the tradition that they take with it, but also you got to evolve and with the times. If there's better ways to watch it, if you can get more eyeballs on the sport, absolutely give it a shot.
What's football when you break it down? What? Blocking, tackling, catching, kicking, throwing,
running.
That's about it, right?
Mm-hmm.
You know what hockey is?
What's that?
Doesn't matter how you cover it. Doesn't matter how many sky cams there are. At the end of the day, it's skates on ice, sticks on puck.
That's right.
Boom.
Pucks on net.
Pucks on net, sticks on ice. Mm-hmm. That's what it is. And I don't care how you show it. If you're going to give me more information from the way that you cover it via Skycam, if you're going to display it more often, I'm a fan of it. And I can't wait to see the dangles in the 8K. You know, when Sydney gets off the disabled
the DL.
list. The physically unable to perform list.
Pup list.
He's just scratched.
Scratch, yeah.
Scratch list.
So you're thinking AK camera guy on ice?
Yeah.
I'm thinking AK guy hanging like Chris Angel. Going. Did you see that? We talked about that in the first hour. Obviously,
I saw your tweet. Didn't you? No, I didn't see you talk about Chris Angel in this. I saw your tweet when I think you had some commentary over it. It was one of my favorite videos you made.
They had the cover over his head. He was This is insane. Like, these are the things, though, that Vegas brings to the sports world that never have been seen before. You know, like Jackson DeVille or whatever, the mascot for Jacksonville, he bungee jumps off the top of the stadium with the game ball every single game. It's awesome. I always think to myself, how come there isn't more of this? In between quarters, whether it's either the surprise home or the kick or the punt catch or whatever it is, it's always good for the live entertainment. Vegas is taking it another level. We did not get to the bottom of this. We would like somebody who was potentially in the stadium to let us know. Did they say he only had 40 seconds to get out or he will die right in front of them? Did that happen? Or what was the sense of urgency? Was there any, AJ, you think?
Well, maybe it was the sense of urgency that both teams are going to come back from the locker room. They're going to start the game, and this guy didn't want to be dangling from there and have a ball hit him in the balls or something.
So I once punted a ball 2 times, actually, and hit the Skycam wire in the game.
In the game, wow. So they blow it dead and you do it again?
No, it just broke up the ball, made it look terrible, and it went short and was nasty, and I had to eat that on my stats, and then I had to tell everybody, no, I hit the fucking thing. Like, it looked like it broke up. We didn't know what happened or whatever because it's so small, the cables, you know?
Yeah.
And I think that happens a couple times. For me, it was only 2. Once in college, once in the NFL. And the controllers of those things are very talented. I mean, they are very, very talented, especially now versus what it was like when I was in college, let alone when I was there. Could you imagine trying to miss a Chris Angel hanging from a fucking middle of the stadium?
You tried.
Tough.
Oh, my God. How would you not? How would you not hit him in his knee pads on his football pants?
You might knock him out, though.
I have no idea. He's lucky he got out of there. Because AJ Cole has a big leg, the punter. He could have been teeing off on old Chris Angel's ball sack up there.
I still think it was, hey, listen, Chris, once halftime is over, if you're not out of this thing, we're going to fucking drop you on the 50-yard line and your body's going to explode like a sack of potatoes.
Did everybody think that was happening?
I think they said that over the PA system.
Because there has to be some sort of...
That's magic.
Yeah, there has to be some sort of, if you don't do this, then this. Yes, thank you.
Yeah, then that led to a Walenda family conversation because there's no consequences for them anymore. They just get to bungee jump over cool shit.
It's bullshit.
You know?
Yeah, they just walk carrying a big pole and
a Bible.
In a Bible with them the whole time?
I don't know if the Bible is... There's two of them because I think they have to be balanced.
Yeah, he recites Bible verses as he's walking.
And as he does this, it actually is turning the pages of the Bible on that side. You know what I mean? And there's nothing wrong with him having God with him, especially two versions of the book, whatever he's doing. True. But I just would like them to stop lying to us. I don't think Chris Angel would ever lie to us. I was at one of his shows in Vegas. He forced me into a standing ovation, which I found pretty clever. He forced us. He said he's not going to end the show until everybody's on their feet yelling. And he had a saw the size of an F-150 turning very quickly, and that thing cut a woman right in half. And then show was over, and literally that was it. And we had to stand and clap for that. And then they came out and took a photo from behind him, and the lady was cut in half, and he was, yeah, Chris Angel, you know, the whole thing. And then there's me and AQ clapping because we were kind of forced to do it. So Chris Angel's an OG in this game, man. He's an OG. That Mind Freak show. Yeah.
That's a heck of a move. I know you've talked about it before. I saw Chris Angel on one of the shows that he had. I don't know what channel it was.
A&E.
He was with Shaquille O'Neal, and he turned Shaq into like a hot air balloon, and Shaq was flying through the air.
Whoa.
That's wild.
That would have freaked my mind, dude. That would have freaked my mind.
Oh, yeah.
Pretty cool.
That's the point of Mind Freak. I mean, how about when he picked up that one half of body on one bench and then ran it down to another person's legs? And then he took that person's body and ran it back to another bench on somebody else's legs.
Really?
And then he did one more of those things. Yeah, and there was people around that saw it and they witnessed it. He did that on Mind Freak on A&E.
Yeah.
That was insane.
I saw him push a hot sauce bottle through a wooden table at a restaurant. The people around him almost damn near killed him.
Here's him moving bodies around in a park. Nobody's saying anything.
I remember this one. I saw this.
Yeah, how did he do this?
How? Because he's fucking Chris Angel.
He's
dude.
Hey, if this lady's out there, could she call in the show, please? I'd like to hear about that.
And we'd also like your footage, if possible. Yeah. You know, this particular lady right here who, by the way, look at the people running for their lives. I guess I would too if I saw a guy in plain tee affliction pants cutting humans in half and running them around to park bench to park bench.
Pass out.
I guess I'd be losing my mind too.
Hey, do you have to get some kind of permit from the city? I know if you want to like perform and put a bucket out and make some money, you have to get a permit. You have to tell them like, hey man, I'm going to be sawing people in half and sliding around the benches. Don't let anyone freak out around me.
If the cop showed up, he would just disappear.
Yeah, that is
dust.
the cop actually potentially his bulletproof vest on top is going to be with a new pair of pants on the bottom for somebody else around the park. And cops know you can't fuck with Chris Angel.
Yeah, you don't fuck with the Mind Freak.
He plays by his own set of rules.
All right. Okay.
We probably shouldn't be even talking about him.
Yeah. He might.
If he just showed up, that'd be fucking insane.
Oh my God.
Sitting right there.
That'd be awesome.
Yeah.
We should think about that for the future. Let him know we're having this conversation so he could just do his little Mind Freak thing and show up here.
Maybe hang from the roof of the Coliseum.
Oh my God.
See if he can do it.
All right.
At all times.
All right. Welcome back to the show.
He'd escape.
Now let's talk about some sports here.
He's still up there.
Adam Thielen's joining us at 2:05. Very nice of him to reschedule. I think he had to do a little extra work at practice. What's that mean, AJ? Is he not confident? Did he get punished, or he just wants to get better and better? We're only on week 6.
Yeah, I don't know. What is the extra jugs machine, you think? Is he trying to polish up those hands?
I'm not 100% sure. I do believe we made that up in the back room for why he was late.
I heard Zimmer had him on the jugs for an extra 30 after practice. I could be wrong.
That is what Zito told me. Zito said, not going to be able to get to Thielen. He had extra work at practice with Zimmer on the jugs or something like that. And I was like, really? Like that actually happened? He's like, I think so. All right, good.
Maybe Zimmer came out like in a singlet and he had to challenge everybody to a wrestling match because he was so juiced up after fighting Kirk on the side. He's like, hey, me and Kirk, actually he and Kirk both were wearing singlets and they took the whole team on one by one because they wanted to prove everybody how tough they were.
They are a nice little tag team now. Look at those two.
I love it. I think it's a turning point in their relationship.
I think so too. They're watching film together, allegedly. One person behind some plexiglass.
Yep.
And one person not on the other side. They're watching film for the first time together. They're punching each other in celebration. They're coming out, both of them saying, no, we're actually just, man, you guys think we hate each other. Then we have a moment that's actually good. Now you guys think we hate each other even more. It's not just us, though. There were some teammates and people in there that were like, wait, whoa.
Shit.
Are these guys about to really throw hands with each other? I agree. I think it is a moment that they'll maybe look back on and say, hey, our relationship really took a step that day. Now, they have to win. If they lose, they're going to hate each other forever regardless. That's how it goes. And maybe that's all misconstrued anyways, but winning cures all, especially if you're going to punch each other in the face in public and people are going to talk about it.
I hope it becomes a thing. Like after every big touchdown pass Kirk throws, we just watch and they zero in, they go right to Zimmer on the sideline and they see what's going to happen.
Bro, what if they fucking lock? Bro, could you imagine they lock up?
Is Kirk a wrestling fan?
I'd assume everybody's a wrestling fan. Kirk has a big brain. Yeah, he's probably a wrestling fan.
Zimmer. Wait till the audio gets released and Zimmer's like, and it's actually like Zimmer's like, get away from me, dude. You're not vaccinated.
That people were saying that is what he said, actually.
Yeah.
With his eyes.
Whoa.
Because his eye, he was like happy, and then it seemed like Zimmer did not know. Now, he said very differently that he was a part of it the entire time. It was a celebration and everything like that. You like that? Shoved me, and I shoved him back. It's all good. It seemed like from watching it, though, there might have been a moment where Zimmer did not expect the amount of ferocity that was coming out of the you like that. And I wonder if Zimmer did have a moment like, am I fighting this motherfucker?
I will.
And then there was like, no, we're in this thing together, and then kind of loses his mind. I think it's good for the team. We'll talk to Thielen about that at 2:05. Chuck Pagano will join us in about 10 minutes. There's some other NFL stuff we should talk about. Tom Brady on his show called Let's Go, which is also on SiriusXM Channel 82 Mad Dog Sports Radio. Mad Dog Sports Radio, founded by Chris Mad Dog Russo. Is not happy, I don't think, that Tom Brady's Let's Go is on Mad Dog Sports Radio. Because Chris Mad Dog Russo actually came out and said, I'll promote it once I get a thank you. I love that. Yeah. I absolutely love that. But anyways, the greatest of all time has a show weekly on SiriusXM. It's called Let's Go. It's with Jim Gray, the man who is sitting next to Tom Brady's mother, rubbing her shoulders. He's a legendary journalist who's been around a long time, obviously has great amount of trust from the Brady family. It's I think Larry Fitzgerald was going to be on it. I don't know if he still is. I've only seen some clips. But Tom Brady yesterday talked about his relationship with Antonio Brown, and I really enjoy hearing this type of thing, especially for Antonio Brown, who we all got to witness at a very low place. Antonio Brown, who is living in our house in Tampa, by the way. Yeah. AB's become like a little brother to me, Brady said. A brother to me. Sorry, not little brother. Just to watch him, what's happened over the course of his life the last 18 months, and to see kind of where he was at and where he's at now makes me so happy for him. He's done the work. He's put the work in. We're all challenged in different ways on and off the field. Sometimes football comes really easy, but the successes of football become a little more challenging to deal with. He's really done an amazing job in his own life getting back to what the real purpose of it is. He would also go on to say about Antonio Brown, about how good he is and how his football intelligence. He loves playing football. He's a football genius. It's hard to explain to people, and I'm someone who's been around some amazing players. It's hard to explain to others the way he sees the game versus everybody else. He's truly a one-of-a-kind person, talent, and I've obviously admired him so much for what he did in Pittsburgh, blah, blah, blah. He continued to talk glowingly about Antonio Brown. This comes after Antonio Brown had a sick touchdown against the Dolphins, a couple of them, I think. And the relationship, obviously, between Tom and Antonio is the reason why I think AB got another shot in the league, and why AB is potentially in Tampa Bay, and maybe why AB has turned around his entire life, which we all got to witness publicly. That was very bad. I'm excited for him, thankful for him, and this is what the NFL is all about. You know, two people that are nothing alike taking care of each other almost. That's the greatness of the NFL.
Oh, my God. I mean, it's great to see. There was a time for sure where weren't people wondering if AB was ever going to be back in the league? Oh, yeah. I don't know who's going to give him a shot. Like, what team will sign this guy after everything?
Yeah, there was insane stories coming out. You know, the bag of dicks that was thrown.
Yeah. I mean.
Then there were some very serious allegations that were taken, like very, very serious allegations. And then the court case, and then there was a lot of stuff going on. And it was very apparent, I think, by everybody who potentially didn't just automatically bury Antonio Brown. They said, hey, something's wrong here. Like, something's wrong. I think he had a meeting. I think he went to some therapy. I don't know. There was some regular mandatory therapy and everything like that. Turned his whole thing around. I think he went down and chatted with Dahn a couple times. So got some good mentorship. And then obviously Tom Brady looking out for him. And to be clear, we all understand that if Antonio Brown was not incredible at football, none of this would happen. Okay? Be who you can afford to be is obviously a situation, but it's nice when something good happens to somebody who even happens to be elite and is getting opportunities that maybe other people wouldn't be able to after situations happen. It's great to see him all the way back. I fucking love watching him play football, dude.
He's so good. He's still so explosive. How old is he right now? Do we know?
He's going to be 31 maybe?
Yeah, that's right.
He's so explosive, so quick and fast. And I think Tom hits on something there when he says, like, he's a football genius. AB seems to have such great instincts. He has such a good feel for, like, where the open space are, where I need to sit down, how do I work off of leverage. And on top of that, the dude is absolutely fearless. Like, I think that's what makes him so special.
And I guess he works. Like, everywhere he's been, people are like, this guy does not stop working. It's almost like too much. Like, he runs too many extra routes, too many sprints. He's like, I'm too committed. I care too much. Like how people say that actually is the case from all stops, by the way. Pittsburgh, Raiders, think New England, and then down in Tampa, everybody that I've talked to behind the scenes, like, that dude never stops, never stops. So good for him turning his life around, and good for Tom Brady getting a chance to have that guy as the third option. Unbelievable. We got to get to a break. Joining us on the other side we have breaking news. Let's go ahead and pause this. Chuck Pagano is supposed to join us. Colts wide receiver T.Y. Hilton returned to practice today and is eligible to play as soon as Sunday versus the Texans. Houston, you have a problem! Oh. Okay, the Ghost nickname was founded because what T.Y. Hilton would do to the Houston Texans, he would disappear and vanish behind their coverage. Every single time we played Houston, T.Y. would have 7,000 yards and 4 touchdowns, and somebody described him, he's like a ghost, we can't find him. And then all of a sudden, the Ghost nickname became the thing. T.Y.'s a stud. T.Y. will help out this offense immensely. Hopefully Carson, coming off his best game, now gets his best weapon. This is good news for the 1-4 Colts and Jim Irsay. He's putting out tweets saying, hey, we need to win multiple Lombardis around here. This is good news, AJ.
Hey, I know he and T.Y. are close. You think that T.Y. saw that tweet and he's like, all right, I'm getting back out there. I need to be on the practice field today. My boss needs me.
I had some sources tell me that look for T.Y. potentially earlier than later in those projections. Mm-hmm. Now, I didn't know how real that meant, especially when you're talking about rehabbing an injury or whatever, but it seemed like there was optimism around some people that were potentially around the Colts. Now we know he's back in practice. That's great news for everybody in Indianapolis. 1-4, will we be able to dig out of that hole here for the Colts, for the shoe, for Jim Irsay, for the city of Indianapolis? Who knows? Joining us on the other side is a man who had to lead the team that we are talking about, had to do business with Jim Irsay, and also was a part of drafting T.Y. Hilton, who just got returned to practice here today via Field Yates tweet. We'll talk to Chuck Pagano on the other side. Not wearing your Chuck Berry shirt today. Wow.
That's in the wash. You know, I wore it yesterday.
You said you had 2.
It's in the wash.
I got more than 2.
All right. Let the record show that he does have more than 2 Chuck Berry shirts, not wearing one now, because our coach is up, Chuck, is Chuck Pagano. We'll see you in 4 minutes. You actually had a chance to coach one of the smartest humans to ever play in the NFL, and Andrew Luck. And I've told this story before where he made a check in the OTAs and the walkthrough, like the first one he was at, that the rest of the team didn't even know what it was. It was his first day on the practice field, his first day of practice, and he checked out of a blitz. Was that true? And was it at that moment you're like, oh, okay, we got the guy? Is that immediately how that thing happened? And did that thing actually happen with Andrew Luck?
Yeah, so he finally shows up, and he's missed the lion's share of the whole offseason. No off-season program, no OT. He's made one rookie mini camp, and then he's gone. And he finally shows up. We get out to practice, and we're, like you said, we're in a walkthrough. And BA calls a play, and he goes to the line of scrimmage. He's getting everything set up, and all of a sudden it was alert, opposite, makes us check. And T.Y., Reggie, Dwayne Allen, everybody in the back. You know, we had the whole offense over here, the whole defense over here, 3 lines and chains. I spent the whole day, get the F back. I was the get back coach. And all of a sudden he rips out this check, alert, you know, and changes the whole play, changes the protection. You know, we go from a run to pass to run, and everybody's like, what the fuck did he just say? And what is that? We had to blow the whistle, get him back in the huddle, because nobody knew what he was checking to. And we're figuring, okay, this guy is a genius. He is a brainiac.
I have a surprise, obviously. That's what this show is all about. We have boots on the ground in Cleveland, who I assume knew this was going to happen all along. Ladies and gentlemen, live from Cleveland, Mr. Jason Glazer. Your thoughts on Kyle Pitts to Atlanta, fine sir? Oh, there's a delay.
Well, first and foremost, Pat, I'd like to say, hey, listen, thanks for having me. Cleveland is beautiful this time of year. Granted, it does smell like a mixture of poop and diarrhea and sewage.
Jesus.
It doesn't smell great down here.
Jesus.
But I'll tell you what, 27 years in this thing, I fucking live for the draft. Love being down here. Love being into Cleveland. But yeah, Kyle Pitts, listen. What do you want me to say? I knew this 2 weeks ago. Really? I mean, do we need to do this whole fucking song and dance?
Okay.
I'll give you guys 1 through 32 if you want to know. You know, do you want to have fun?
That's nice.
You want to not know who's going? But yeah, I had this 2 weeks ago. You know what I'm wondering is if the guy you had in your studio, Mad Mel Kiper, I know that sorry son of a bitch didn't have this 2 weeks ago.
Mike's not plugged in.
Whoa. Yes, I did. Yes, I did. I actually just explained it.
No, you didn't.
Yes, I did.
No, you didn't.
Yes,
No,
I
you
did.
didn't. No, you
Yes, I
didn't.
did.
No,
I
you
had
didn't.
this.
I did.
Yeah,
I
no,
did.
no, you
I
didn't.
did. You
I had
didn't.
this.
I
I
did.
had
You
it.
didn't.
Trust me. Can
You
I
didn't.
talk for Christ's sake?
Okay, fine, yeah.
Can
Go
I
ahead.
talk? Okay,
Go ahead.
yeah. Like I said, Kyle Pitts,
No, you
unbelievable
didn't.
talent.
No, you didn't. You didn't fucking
Yes,
have
I
it.
did.
No, you didn't. You're a bad sack of shit,
Jason.
Kiper. I know it. I looked at your mock draft.
Jason, please relax. Oh my God. Had no idea it was going to get like that. Sorry about that, Mad Mel. Obviously, there's a little bit of content there. He's saying you don't know your ass from a fucking hole in the ground, though, Mad Mel. How do you feel about that from Jason Glazer live in Cleveland?
Well, classic move. You know, Glazer looks like he's getting ready to go to a goddamn titty bar or something like that. I mean, dress up, pal. It's the NFL draft. Look at me. I'm dressed to the nines. You know, you look like an asshole. I mean, just get him out of here, can we? I mean, is he going to stick around? Can we get him the hell out of here?
I think, is his microphone still on? Jay, can you hear us? Jay, is everything good back there?
Listen, fuck you guys. I'm out of here. I'm going over to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. I'm going to hang out with Dee Snider and Twisted Sister.
Are you serious? Okay, Jason, sorry. Thank you so much. And ladies and gentlemen, Jason Glazer.
Thank you, Jason.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Every day is game day for these guys. It's showtime on the Pat McAfee Show.
Every day's game day. People forget every single day. Wake up, have a pregame meal. You know what? Take a pregame poop. What? Get excited for the day and who we're going to talk to, what we're going to talk about, what's news. Today's a great day, AJ Hawk, because today is Coaches Up Chuck Wednesday. Today is the day that we get a chance to chat with former head coach in the NFL, a man who coached for 36 years, a guy I look up to immensely, who's sitting in a house in Idaho enjoying retirement. Ladies and gentlemen, Coach Chuck Pagano. Where are we here? Is this a den? Are we in the den?
Living room, Pat.
Hey. Every room's a living room because nothing needs to be a dining room. You know what I'm saying? Bring a little life to every single room. And that's what you do, Chuck. I appreciate you for joining us. You look amazing. Let's dive right into it. Seems like back-to-back weeks now, we get a chance to chat with you about really good stuff happening with coaches in the NFL. You know, last week it was a potential chop house situation and not flying back home with his team. Have you ever heard of that? Now it's about a situation going on at an executive level, email level. John Gruden, Bruce Allen, his emails being leaked. One email being leaked before the game, then a bunch afterwards. The team looked uninspired. What I want to ask you about as a coach in the NFL, a leader of men, when something like that happens, do you immediately know that you've lost the entire room? Because there's numerous reports from people that have watched the film on that Raiders game this past weekend, and it's bad because players, oh, jeez.
Poor connection.
Oh, jeez, that living room.
Yep.
Living room, the internet is dying in the living room.
I mean, Idaho.
Idaho, Utah.
No. The state, it's just.
Or Giddel's.
No, he wouldn't do that.
Or yours, AJ.
Yeah, it might be yours, kind of.
Hey, I'm still here. Hey, I'm not claiming I have good internet, but I'm still here somehow.
Hey, yours has been very good as of late, by the way.
Yeah, we haven't had any like full grid shutdowns lately, like I usually have 2 a month. It seems like.
Did you bully the grid shutdowners out to Idaho? Is that what you did? Did you send them out there?
I tell you, man, weird things are happening. You know that A-Rod mentions his UFO sighting again yesterday, or his alien sighting. I tell you, man, I don't know who's coming after my internet.
Hey, what's that all? All right, we could get into UFOs if you want to. That seemed like that's what you wanted to do maybe.
Honestly, that's not. I don't.
Hey,
that's
how
the least
come-
thing. I never want to argue with people about that.
How come Aaron didn't just say, like, I also told a story on your show? He told a story on our show, too.
Yeah.
That's how I remember the orange light, the fighter jets, the entire thing,
Oh, yeah.
right? Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Let's get into that. He said we'll get into that down the road. I was like, let's do that right now. Joining us again, well, I don't know if this man has ever seen an alien or a UFO. Internet just dropped.
I figure he has to. Idaho would be where aliens would go and like mess around.
You know, I visited a lot of countries in my life, and I've been very lucky to do that. I played soccer in a lot of countries growing up. I got a chance to go see other places, and I always wondered, like, what happened if you showed up in America in New York City? That is nothing like what life in America is like, basically anywhere else.
Yep,
Las Vegas.
You show up in Vegas, it's nothing like. What if these aliens did pop down in a place and you're like, oh, a pretty boring place.
Yeah. Like Seattle.
They just pop back. Well, I don't know if Seattle's boring.
Bobby Wagner said it himself. There's really not much to do in Seattle. Okay, that's from him, not from me.
Okay.
That was a quote.
All right, yeah, because he said stay focused on football or whatever, right? Whenever you what the new money?
No, I'm pretty sure they actually asked him, like, what do you go out in Seattle? And he was like, no, there's really not much to do around here.
But, okay, so let's shout out to Bobby Wagner staying focused on football out there. But also, what if the aliens did just drop down in Idaho and they're like, this is what planet Earth is? That'd be wild.
Oh, yeah.
Because that is nothing like what I assumed. He says it's gorgeous. It's beautiful. He's got a lake. He's got mountains. No internet. You know what I mean? I don't know.
Yeah, Lake Coeur d'Alene is where a lot of big money people have houses out there.
Oh, that's where Chuck's at?
I don't know if he's at Coeur d'Alene, but I think it doesn't. When you have Carson Palmer on, he's out there somewhere.
I didn't know. Is this that super? See?
Yeah.
Coeur d'Alene, I think like Timberlake or maybe Big Sky, Montana.
Justin?
Montana and then Idaho are big, like rich people go have monster houses now.
Yeah, Brady's got Montana.
A rich Big Sky. A rich person joining us now from a lake in Idaho with better internet than ever. Live and in color. Ladies and gentlemen, Chuck Pagano. Yeah. Back to the old faithful. Smart.
Boy, try to change it up. Go to a different part of the house. I guess you got to have these boosters all over the place. I mean, Lord, have mercy. I just spent $5,000 getting this thing, oiled up for the show, and I figured, okay, the living room. I'm gonna try the living room. Got some nice piece of furniture there. My wife loves West Elm. Got a few pieces from West Elm. Give them a shout out, if you will. But. No, Coeur d'Alene, okay? That's where the rich people go. AJ, okay? They got a lake up there. They got a golf course. They got all the stuff that the rich and famous love to do and hang out. And I'm just in McCall, Idaho, which is beautiful. It's Payette Lake, 2 hours north of Boise. So all good.
Yeah, I mean, nice place. Way to go back to the fundamentals, back to this room. I apologize that East Elms or whatever you said, it maybe got in the way of the internet, but I'm thankful that you're here. Let's dive into it. I hate that back-to-back weeks here, we have to talk about head coaches being in situations that are obviously devastating and terrible as a leader of men, okay? First, Urban Meyer last week, you gave a great answer on that and gave us great insight that I don't think, none of us would have thought about as being a former coach, especially somebody that's been around 36 years. Now, when it comes to the John Gruden email leak via the Bruce Allen investigation, obviously it's terrible that it's not the culture that you had whenever we were in Indianapolis. I don't know what's going on in your fucking emails, but it didn't feel like a very similar culture that you ran. What my question is about, everybody that watched the film said that the Raiders team looked like shit. And that was after the first email came out that was, some racist terms were thrown around and a description was leaked. Do you think there comes a time where you have no chance of ever getting a team back? Like, do you think Gruden, although he resigned and people are saying he was forced into resign, if what people are saying from watching the film about the Raiders team quitting on him, there was no chance he was going to be able to get anybody back, right? I mean, there's no chance at all he was going to get that team back. Once you lose a team, it's gone forever, right, Coach?
Yeah, Pat, I think it's probably considering the circumstances. I mean, first and foremost, that's a sad, embarrassing, disappointing situation. I know it's been obviously what's going on over there?
A baseball bat hit a baseball bat hit a guitar. I apologize.
Baseball bats.
There's a lot. Yeah.
But we all know, as you have talked about and Aaron talked about and everybody's talked about ad nauseum, that there's no place, in our society, let alone the National Football League, for that type of language, number one. And, we all feel bad for people that are affected, disrespected, based on, that language. But, yeah, that was probably, really, really hard situation. When that kind of thing happens, to try to forget the game and what everybody thought, this, that, and the other, and you don't want to take away credit from the other team and things like that. But I think that would be a very, very difficult situation to stand, in front of your team and in front of your men and continue to lead, based on those circumstances. So, we all know what transpired and where the league went and the course of action that was taken, but it's sad and it's disappointing.
Chuck, when you address, you would address the team every day, every morning. Usually, the head coach will address the whole team in a team meeting, depending on where you're at. But how much thought and how much preparation would you have going into those meetings when you're addressing the whole team together? Because I didn't realize it at the time, but now that I'm removed, I realize how important those maybe 10, 15, 20 minutes are that the head coach addresses you every day.
Yeah, I think especially Wednesday, the day after the game is always, hopefully it's a win and you can point out a bunch of bright spots and still get after the team. And you know how coaches are. You can always get after the team more when you win, try to lift them up when you lose, those type of things. But Wednesday was huge, because you're talking about, okay, here's the next opponent. You're talking about the game records, offense, defense, and special teams that they have. This is how we're going to attack them. This is going to be, how we're going to play complementary football. We had a formula going into each one of those games. The ball was the most important thing, the quarterback, how we're going to affect him, the ball, protect it, take it away, all those kind of things. So I think that was major to set the tone for the week and explain to the guys. You guys were talking about, Tommy Telesco yesterday and what a great job Brandon Staley's doing. That's real. That's real. You've sat in those meetings, AJ. Pat, you've sat in those meetings, obviously, of coming in and talking about the opponent and how we were going to beat that opponent and the things that we had to do, as a football team, collectively, collaboratively, complementary football, again, if you will, of how we're going to win that game. So that was major. And, it was always easier when I was a position coach. All I had to worry about was the defensive backs or a D coordinator, just the defensive side. But there's a lot that goes into that as a head football coach.
How about the research you did I feel like you read a lot of books. You were well studied. You'd reference a story or reference something that somebody else said in some world when you were getting your point across. I thought you were a very, very good orator. I actually told you that after most meetings. Like, hey, I think you did good in there. I thought you were very funny. The energy is a big deal. But once you lose that room, I think it's over, and that's I think that was something that was obviously knocking on the door over there. Let's talk about the Raiders a little bit more now that, Paisan, huh? Hey, Paisan, hey. Bisaccia. Hey, this guy.
We love to see a fellow Paisan get an opportunity.
Yeah, we do. Hey, we do love that. Do you know this guy at all? What do you expect of the team? Because they have a good roster. Have you ever seen a situation like this potentially bring them together even more and maybe thrive after it? Like, what do you think is going to happen over there? And what do you know about Rich Paisan, head coach for the Las Vegas Raiders all of a sudden?
I know he's got a sweet Fu Man. That thing is real. I wish mine looked that sweet. Hey. I've known Richie for a long, long time.
Football Richie.
Our careers were kind of similar. A long time in college, and then, obviously he's had a long stint and still going in this situation with the Raiders. But well respected, great coach, great person. He's a player's coach. He will hold those kids accountable, those players accountable. He's demanding. You mentioned it yesterday. We've talked before about this, about, the special team coach touches everybody, on that roster. He's got a relationship with everybody on that roster. Hence the decision of Mark Davis and the upper brass at the Raiders to go, with Rich in this role. I think he'll do a fabulous job. And yes, Pat, things like this can galvanize a team. A decision was made Rich has been put in place. Now I think it falls on the leadership in that locker room. It'll fall on Derek Carr. It'll fall on Waller. It'll fall on the players on the defensive side, Kwiatkowski and Hankins and those guys to come together and say, hey, look, because that's the sanctuary. That, those guys, they can rally around their coaching staff. They can rally around Rich and decide, hey, look, we do have a damn good football team. We have a quarterback that's playing outstanding. We've got playmakers on offense. We've got a defensive coach in Gus Bradley who knows what he's doing and has brought energy and juice to this defense. And this season is not a wash. And we can turn this whole thing around, and we can turn this into a positive and still make hay in this league and find a way to get ourselves in the tournament. And then if we do get in that tournament, we can make some noise.
Chuck, what about Mike Mayock and Mark Davis? Like, you think they're actively, I'm sure they're still dealing with a lot, but are they actively starting their search for their next head coach? I know this Paisan will get a chance to keep the job if he does well, I guess. But
I don't think you can say it with that delivery.
Why'd you say
I didn't know his real. I couldn't say his real full last name.
Okay. I just thought the way you said Paisan was. Diggs took it as a shot.
His, definitely no shot.
His eyebrows raised.
Inflection in your voice.
Yeah, Chuck even saw it. He even heard it a little bit. It seems like
Chuck's the only one. I meant with all due respect to Chuck because I couldn't say his last name. That's the only reason I used that term. But I'm asking Chuck, are you thinking about throwing your hat in the ring and coming away from Idaho and trying to be the next head coach of the Raiders?
Hey, Vegas, little gambling out there. Little life. Tina loves it, huh?
Oh, does she ever? That's her favorite spot. But I'd be in good graces for a long, long time if we were to don the silver and black again. But, I think, I had 2 years there, 05 and 06. Mr. Davis, God rest his soul, was still alive, and I had an unbelievable experience. There was nothing like being a part of the Raiders. That's an unbelievable organization. And the fan base now and being in Las Vegas, all that stuff. But to your point, AJ, and your question early on about are they starting to, put together a list? Obviously, they had no idea that this was going to come to pass, but we know that, adversity happens. There's circumstances that come up unforeseen, especially in this situation. So they're starting to put that list together, but they're going to give Rich and that football team and that coaching staff all the support and resources necessary to be successful on the field moving forward. And then, like you said, if they go out and they win, and again, it's going to be the players. If these players rally around Rich and his coaching staff, why would you want to change everything if you don't have to? And you want continuity and all those kind of things, and go try to find a new head coach and a whole new coaching staff, this, that, and the other. They've got really good coaches in place. They've got a nice staff in place. They got a good roster that they built. So, again, it'll be up to those players. Those players rally around and they come together in the locker room because it's just a choice. They have a choice to make. Okay, look, we can make an excuse on, this happened, that happened, all this other nonsense. But they can come together and say, look, we're a great fucking football team.
Yeah.
And we've got a hell of a coaching staff. And by God, we're not going to let the season go down the drain. And we need to man up, do our freaking job, do simple better, Pat. You said this game's simple. It's about blocking, tackling, throwing, catching. That's it. Kicking. Let's not forget kicking. But let's go. We owe it to this organization, the decal, the name on the back of our jersey, and these fans to go out and play some damn good football.
Let's go! Yeah! I love that. I do love that you just immediately you put yourself in that position right there, and you said, this is what I would hope would happen. And you would expect it, I think, especially if there's probably been some tense moments in that building. I don't know if it's just this past couple days because the email leaks, or maybe just as a whole, there's always that conversation about, is Derek the guy? Is he not the guy? John Gruden hates him. He doesn't hate him. Maybe now is the time that maybe a little tension has been relieved, and it's like, all right, let's rally together. I hope that's the case. Great speech there, Coach. Whenever you become a head coach, especially with a Jim Irsay-led team, And we saw his tweets last night talking about, we're going to win multiple Lombardis for the Horseshoe. And we're staring down a 1-4 record right now. Big time weekend down there in Houston with T.Y. Hilton coming back, which seems to be immense news. If you don't know, it is huge to get T.Y. back on there. But what is that interview process like whenever you have to go in and chat with Jim Irsay? And what are his expectations? Because I think his tweet was allowing everybody to know that he's expecting a lot better than this as well. I might be wrong. You know more about him than I do. But what was that interview process like with old Jim Irsay?
It was unbelievable. Yeah, Jim's like a brother to me. I mean, I love Mr. Irsay to death and his family. And, we know that Jim, he wears his emotion and his passion for that football team and that city and those fans on his sleeve. And there is not a more generous, bigger-hearted owner in the National Football League that I know than Jim Irsay. And, yeah, the expectations are real. You remember before we opened up with Detroit at home in 16? And he spoke at the at the luncheon. Remember, we'd have that luncheon before we got on a bus and drove to Cincinnati to play that preseason game.
Yeah, worth it.
But it was like, hey, look, this is the Coliseum, and they're coming to town. We have to win this game. He mixes no bones when he talks about the expectations for that team and what he wants to accomplish. And obviously, the guy loves to win. He hates losing more than he loves winning. You find that out in the first 5 minutes when you sit down and you have a meeting with Mr. Irsay. Damn it, we gotta win this game, coach. I love this guy. He's unbelievable, and you want that, in your owner because he loves to win, and he said it. At least it's down to 2 Lombardis. It's been 3, right? At least Frank and Ballard, it's down to 2. But I love Jim, and I would take a bullet for that dude. It's awesome. And Ballard's going, now look, Jim, we got some injuries.
Yeah, he's selling,
Oh, yeah. Now look.
Yeah. That's awesome. Thank you for that, by the way. Any more Irsay impressions you want to do, let them fly on this show. They are always accepted. I'm happy that we could potentially paint a different narrative about Jim Irsay than the rest of the world knows because we got a chance to see him operate a little bit. Go ahead, Ty.
Coach Pagano, there was a situation in the Packers-Bengals game on Sunday where it was in overtime, and it was, I think, a 3rd and 10 or a 3rd and 15, and Aaron told us yesterday he wished they would have went for, another play to pick up some yards. Instead, they kicked the field goal. Mason Crosby had already missed 2 kicks and an extra point. I don't know if you ever really had a situation like that with Vinny, but how do you go about that when you have a guy who's usually nails, but he's just, for whatever reason, he just doesn't have it that day? How do you decide that situation at the end of a game there when, you have to have it, otherwise you're in jeopardy of losing?
Yeah, Ty, great question as always. Those situations are going to come up, and what a play, Aaron made. I believe you're talking about the 3rd and 16. Yeah. Where he threw to Cobb over the middle. He got hit, hand got hit, and that flick of the wrist, and he buries another team, puts his team in position, and he's got to make a decision. Cobb rolled. I thought Cobb rolled over on top of that body and wasn't down yet, and might have got that first down, but that's up to replay this, that, and the other. But yeah, you always look at that situation, the health of the guy. You look at the Colts situation, with.
Hot Rod.
Rodrigo, Hot Rod, right?
Hot Rod.
And he misses, and he's got a groin, he's got this, that, he comes out and nails one, and then you got a decision to make. So you trust your guys. I'm going to trust Mo Drayton. I'm going to Mo and saying, Mo, what's this guy? Are we good? And like you said, what's Mo going to say? No, hell no. Run the damn ball. There's no way you can make this kick. Absolutely, he's going to believe in his guy because that's, like you said, that's going to get out. And I love Mo more than anybody. He does a great job, and so happy he got that opportunity. But no, you trust Mo, and then you trust your guy. And you knew that, hey, look, he's going to go out there, he's going to make this kick, and you give him a chance to rebound and win the game for you. And they got out of there with a 3-point win. They covered, which was very, very important to a lot of us.
You're an asshole. An Italian.
Yeah.
Such an Italian. He's 1 year removed. What is he, 5 weeks removed from this thing? That's awesome.
AJ, it's Basaccia. Okay, Richie Basaccia.
Yeah, Paisan. There, you got to do what you got to do. In that game,
Paisan.
Something you had to deal with in that game as well, by the way, that happened in that game you had to deal with. Andrew Luck was a madman. Every play, no play left behind. There is no reason for me to sacrifice myself, or I'm going to sacrifice myself for the good of the play, for the good of football. I feel like he legitimately thought he was disrespecting football if he was to slide or avoid contact or do something in his eyes that wouldn't be doing what football is. I think that's honestly how he felt by the way he was playing. Joey Burrow seems to have a pretty similar thing. Aaron said that he talked to Joey Burrow afterwards. He was like, just slide, man. You're too good. You're too talented. Your future's too great. Everybody knows you're tough. We know you're tough. Just need you to pick and choose your battles almost. I don't think that's an easy thing for some people to switch off. Now, how were your combos with Andrew Luck, and how did those go? And do you feel like he is almost getting disrespected by you for asking him to take a play or quit on a play maybe? Like, how did those conversations go, and how do you think it ends up with Joey B?
Yeah, out of all the abilities, the most important one is availability.
Yeah.
And that's what we tried to get across to Andrew, and I'm sure the coaches over there in Cincinnati are trying to get across to Joe. And, it's very, very hard. Imagine coming in as the number 1 overall pick, the expectations that come along with that, the locker room, you're trying to earn your stripes. You're going to show these guys that, you're going to lay it on the line. Number 1, you're going to be the first in the building, the last to leave. You're going to study more than anybody else because we know, what comes with that job and that role. You know how hard that is for a player, a competitive football player in the National Football League to start sliding and doing some things, especially early in their career. 3-4 years down the road, it was a lot easier to have those conversations with Andrew just because of those expectations and trying to win the locker room over and earn the respect of your teammates and the fans and everybody and to get first downs. But God damn it, excuse my language, get the hell on the ground. You got to slide, and we had to bring in people to teach him how to slide and all this, that, and the other. But he didn't feel like until he ran over a linebacker, in college at Stanford, it kind of got the cobwebs out of his head, and he could get in the flow of the game. But you can't do that. And then, that hit was egregious. It was 3rd and 12, and I think he took off, right? And he's good 5 yards, and there's 5 defenders right there, and he's going to get cut in half. You're not getting it anyway. And we appreciate your toughness, and we appreciate you laying it all on the line for the Bengals and the fans and the organization and for the team. But you got to get down. And then how about on the interception, the tackle he went and made? Yeah. When he threw the pick late in the game?
Yeah.
And remember Andrew?
Yes.
Andrew would be the first guy. He'd throw the pick, and out of nowhere, here comes Superman, right? And boom, he'd knock the living shit out of the dude. And we're like, no, don't let these other guys. And he's like, this guy's going to walk in the end zone, coach. You don't want me to tackle him? Yeah, I know how it looks, but everybody will forgive you in 24 hours. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, it's tough. I can see how it's tough. And I didn't even think about the amount of pressure for success. So every play could be a part of your legacy that you're trying to build in a certain city and in the locker room. It's insane to think about because Andrew Luck, that dude he was the first person on the scene when he threw a pick. And it's like, how do you tell him not to get upset, not to try to make it right? Because you just made a mistake. How do you make it right? Or maybe your wide receiver ran a wrong route. And it's like you're taking away something from him, but you're also telling him, hey, when you're healthy, everybody's life is better, okay? Everybody's life is better whenever you're healthy. Chuck, yeah. My life too, by the way. My life's better. My family's life's better. That's a tough thing, though. I can see how the competitive spirit could take that out of him. Last question here. Go ahead, Connor.
Yeah, Coach, I got to ask. The Lions have now lost back-to-back weeks pretty heartbreakingly, and after this last one against the Vikings, MCDC was, in fact, crying on the stand. Going forward, does he have to cry every single time they lose now because he kind of set the standard, or does he kind of have to reel that in a little bit and get the boys ready for next week?
Jeez.
What a great question. Boston Connor.
No.
Here we go, Chuck.
I mean, just – yeah. Okay, so I love Dan Campbell. I'm a big what'd you call him, MCDC? I'm a huge MCDC.
Love this guy.
Yeah. Love this guy. And you got to love his passion. You got to love his energy, his juice, his fight, all that stuff, what he's building there, Yeah, that's a tough one. That's a tough one to follow up with because, and I hate it because they're building something special there. They're building a roster. They're not there yet. There's going to be probably another bad Sunday on their horizon for the Lions, But, I heard you guys talking about this yesterday, and, if he doesn't ball next week and the week after, then he's this, he's that. Let's don't go there. Let's give Dan, the benefit of the doubt and know that. After a lot of guys would have just, I don't know. They might have resigned after 2 devastating losses. They said, hey, you know what they got to do?
Pay Calvin Johnson.
Ted Lasso, right? Jim's Believe. His deal's Believe, right? Yeah. They need to have a seance. They got to have a voodoo deal. They got to get the trash can out. They got to get the team around that trash can. They got to grab something that means a lot to them, throw it in there in Detroit. Forget the crying. Forget this. Forget that. Let's go Ted Lasso in Detroit, and let's have a big voodoo rally, a seance.
Yeah.
Whatever you got to do, and let's burn some stuff and try to change the mojo around that place. My Lord.
Yeah, they're going to need some sage, I think. At this point, I don't even know if that could do it. All you got to do is pay Calvin Johnson his money, and everything goes away. We can't thank you enough for joining us, Chuck. You're amazing, man. Each week's getting better and better. We appreciate the hell out of you.
Appreciate you guys.
Ladies and gentlemen, Coaches Up Chuck, host, head coach Chuck Pagano. Hour 2 is wrapping up. I fucking love that guy. We're back on hour 3 with, I think, Adam Thielen. We'll see you in 6 minutes. Smarter than you, I'm better than you.
Mm-hmm.
No. I'm a better person than you are.
No. I fed the birds this morning, so I'm a better person than you are.
Yeah, but you don't care about the ozone as much as I do. So do you even like to breathe? That means you don't even like the birds. You don't want the birds to be able to breathe or fly because you want the ozone to be ruined because you're a fucking asshole.
Is that right? Then how come I rollerblade to the supermarket every Saturday and Sunday?
Oh, did that make you feel good? Rollerblading, flattening the earth a little bit closer to the center so it can get hotter so then the heat comes from the ozone because you're pressing down the earth with your little rollerblades?
Well, yeah, but
I'm a better person than you are.
No, because on Wednesdays I'm planting trees and I'm trying to bring the earth back to what it was.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure you're cutting up other trees' roots, though. What a fucking asshole. You Why can't you just let earth be the way it's be? You got to take your shovel and dig into it? Wow. I'm a better person than you are.
I know. I make my own manure. I make my own soil. I'm not chopping up any other
roots. So you don't like cows. You don't like cows pooping.
I
hate farmers. You hate farmers. Oh, you don't like the head of cows. Oh, you don't like burgers?
Then how come I'm in the Farmers Association of America and I'm going to help?
Oh, you're a lifetime member of the FFA. Hey,
yeah, that's right.
That's what I make. I'm a better person than you are.
No, you're not. I'm a better person than you are.
That's politics, baby. That's what we just did right there. Let's get to the phones. Once again, I think we batted 1,000.
Boom.
In politics with what we just did right there.
How about that?
I do believe after that argument, though, people would say I was a better person than fucking you are, dude.
No, because everyone I just read on Twitter was like, oh my God, this guy rollerblades. I need to start doing that too.
No, that's because you mute all the other people that are actually on my side. They're telling you you're not the right person.
No, I refuse to mute anybody because I love everybody.
Oh, you like freedom of speech. How come then you're not going to
listen to everybody? Wow. I do love freedom of speech. That's why I'm not muting anybody.
I'm better than you are.
I'm better than you are.
Everybody's saying it.
No.
Yeah, everybody's saying I'm a better person than you are.
I heard it.
We just did, by the way, still batting 1,000 on Paul's. Yes. I feel so good about it. We even got into the reaction to the punditry.
Yes.
We're batting a fucking 1,000 out there.
Every side.
And people say we're not well-rounded. We don't have depth. Did you hear what we just fucking did?
Come on.
Wow. Let's go to the phones, man. We have no idea how to do the subway system, but Zeke is doing the direction, the directing, the mapping, the planning. Well, my tell is in 10 minutes, that train should be ready. He knew his shit. He said it's went that way. This is Zito guided tour. We're not going to get spot on the train. We should get on an Uber. This was a bad idea. This was a bad decision. Oh, wow. Oh, wow. This is going to be interesting.
Are we on the right way to Yankee Stadium right now? To the Bronx.
I don't like that hesitancy.
Stand clear of the closing doors, please.
New York is it's a bit much. There's shit everywhere. It smells like shit. There's a lot of people, but it's a hell of an industry out here, you know.
Thank you so much.
Hey, let's go now, Yanks.
So what are we saying now, Kanaki?
Yeah. Underrated, we the underdogs, underestimated. Underrated, we the underdogs, underestimated. We the one. Out of the darkness I rose up. Voted my soul, it's a gold rush. Yeah. Honor and freedom, my toast up. Kicking game on the snare drum. Hard on the beat, let it bleed out like sacrifices. Cut it open, emotions. Spilling like oil and coasting. Therapy for my mental, I'm pinning a pistol and shoot down the criticisms individually. I heard the voices that told us. Throw dirt on my name and wish me the worst and scold us. Shot through the heart and pray on my downfall. But young people prevail on my own. Stand on top of the
Hey, I said it was salami time.
on my chest like Olympic gold. Rap it smooth on the floor like a jazz song. Witness greatness, look up in LeBron home. Remember next time before you doubt us. That only made me.
The Pat McAfee Show.
There'll be no rules for our guests, for us, for the things we can talk about.
Speaking his mind
I've never had a problem expressing my opinions or my thoughts or anything like that.
while being relatable.
I haven't had that manufactured fake-ass celebrity that a lot of people have whenever they go on those big networks. I've had a chance to really build my crew, build my following, build my audience.
And ridiculous.
What am I supposed to do? So I'm supposed to look at something that I can definitely afford and say, nah. Is that what I'm supposed to do?
The Pat McAfee Show starts in 3, 2, 1.
Good afternoon, beautiful people. Welcome back to Hour 3 on this Coach Us Up Chuck Wednesday, October 13th, 2021, years after zero. It'll begin immediately following this beat drop from Twine. There it is. Here we go. AJ Hawk's still here in his attic in Ohio. AJ, the more and more you learn about Chuck Pagano, I assume the more and more you wish he would have coached you either as a position, a defense, or as a head coach, yeah?
Absolutely, the guy is awesome. There's not a whole lot of like head coaches or any person that has been in coaching for as long as Chuck was that could come on here and be so authentic and real and have good stories. And now, as we're seeing, some great impressions too.
Yeah, his Irsay impression's good. So we had, I don't know how long the flight, maybe 17 hours? Is that right? To Japan?
To Japan, yeah.
Something like
About
that.
17, 18 hours or whatever over there. And we talked it out. I was going to retire that year. That was like 2 years before I actually retired. And then we had that 17-hour flight we learned. And once we started doing Irsay stories back and forth, that was really when we came together. And I was like, Chuck, you are the best. To pivot a little bit to another NFL franchise joining us, fresh off an incredibly massive win. An emotional win. So much so that his quarterback and his head coach almost threw fists at each other to celebrate afterwards. Ladies and gentlemen, gritty master, wide receiver of the Minnesota Vikings, Adam Thielen.
Yeah!
What's
up, guys? Good to be back.
Hey, it's great to have you, man. Great to see you guys winning again, by the way. You guys seem to be very hot. You're heating up. Incredible talent. Got everything going good. Kirk and Zimmer, them fighting there. Is that a normal thing? They punch each other around all the time? And are you happy that the rest of the world is getting a chance to maybe put aside the fact that they hate each other for a little bit because they both came out and spoke glowingly about each other?
Yeah, I loved it. I absolutely loved it. I actually told Kirk that I'm gonna make it my screensaver. There's a picture of him of Kirk with the like fist of the sweatshirt, and I'm like, that's my new screensaver on my phone.
That's awesome. Go ahead, AJ.
Do you think maybe so? Let's say you're playing Carolina this week. You catch a big old touchdown, a big bomb. Are you going to go on a dead sprint to Zimmer, grab him, maybe two fists, grab him, or maybe around the neck, and then he's going to be like, okay, yeah, I'm doing this with everybody, and all of a sudden Zimmer's going to get in like 35 fights per game?
I think that should be our new celebration. I think you have a great point there. Probably won't be too happy about it, but it'll get him fired up. It's good.
Okay.
We like when Zim's fired up, and we like when Kirk's fired up. So I thought it was perfect.
Yeah, two forces that are very rarely fired up in public, fired up with each other, causing an awkward situation for the world to judge because all the stories that we've heard about what's going on behind the scenes. Let's talk about behind the scenes over there. Life has to be much better right now. Obviously, a 54-yard game-winning field goal from Greg Joseph is huge. You forced the opposing coach to cry, so I don't know how you feel about that, especially two big catches in the final drive. What is it like over there with momentum on your side? Can you feel it in the building? Did you guys ever doubt anything whenever things weren't going as great?
No, we've never doubted it. I think it's just been a wild season so far. I mean, just the way that we've lost, the way that we've won, it's just been wild. But the longer you're in this league, you get it. I mean, it happens. It's tough to win in this league. You have to bring it each week, and so we know what we got to do. I think that's one thing we actually talked about is not letting a win or a loss make our weeks look different. We got to be consistent no matter what, because I think a lot of times in the NFL, and you guys know, you get that win and you're like, we got the win, we're good, we're on a roll, and you kind of start to relax a little bit. And in this league, when you do that, you're going to get beat. And so I think it's just that message of, hey, it doesn't matter what happened last week. Like, we have an NFL team coming this week, and they're really good. So we gotta play our best football.
How does Zimmer do that? Like, I would assume he is very consistent and would be a guy that's not going to let you sit back and get comfortable after a win. Has he always been like that consistent guy that he comes in no matter what, win or lose, and he's the same?
No. Because Zim, when we lose, he is pissed off. And, like, he's mad when we win, but, like, he's really mad when we lose. So he's definitely not consistent with that. Like, he's gonna bring it. When we lose, like, that's why losing sucks in this league, because you're going to get it on that Monday after you lose.
Well, there's jobs on the line. There's legacies on the line. There's obviously a massive amounts of money on the line. It's nice to hear that Zimmer is one that will come in and say, yeah, that was fucking a nightmare yesterday. I like that that's potentially his way of motivating and driving. Seems like you guys are back on the right path this season. I mean, there's been a lot of success over there. It just hasn't hit the crescendo yet. Obviously, you're all striving to do that. Let's talk about your game this weekend against the Panthers. I know Phil Snow, the defense coordinator, I think he's been running like a 3-3-5 for the last 50 years or something like that. Is there anything different that you guys have to prepare for against this Carolina Panthers defense? That team seems to be coming together as well when there was a lot of high hopes last season and going in this year.
Yeah, we definitely have a lot to prepare for them. They are a really good defense. I'm not sure where they're ranked defensively, but when you watch the tape, they're really good. They're flying around. Their corners are able to sit on routes because their defensive line is getting to the quarterback, and their blitzes are nasty. Like you said, they kind of run that 3-3-5, and they can make everything look the same. So they can have, the same blitzes, but a bunch of different guys are coming. So it definitely keeps you on your toes, and for us, we got to make sure that we're focused on the little things, being prepared for a lot of different looks, and honestly being prepared for the looks that we've seen, because a lot of teams are kind of going away from their game plans that they've shown on tape, and they're kind of doing stuff that's kind of.
Hey, there's a lot of people talking about that right now. The Bills in the opening week against the Steelers said they saw something they never thought was going to come. The Chiefs then just said that about the Bills, and then Patrick Mahomes said the coverages we've seen over the last couple of weeks, I don't think anybody on earth has. What is it? Are defenses just getting more creative with their coverages? Is this happening to everybody, you think?
I think so. I think teams are just finding ways to, if one team has success doing something, even though it's not in their defensive philosophy, they're going to do it. And I think teams are just saying, they're kind of going all out and saying, hey, we're going to do it works against this offense, especially against a successful offense that puts up a lot of yards or does something really well. If a team finds a way to stop it, they're going to do it. I think vice versa too. If there's something that a defense is doing or an offense is doing that's beating a certain style of defense, teams are kind of grabbing that and using it.
How tough is it for you as a receiver sometimes? We've seen some teams where they're going in, the offense thinks, oh, this defense is going to blitz me. They're going to come after the quarterback, try to get pressure, and then all of a sudden they're dropping 8, they're dropping 7 consistently, and they want you guys to make a mistake and get greedy and try to go over the top. How tough is it for you to stay patient? Because you're a guy that you like catching balls over the top. You make huge plays. Like some defenses are trying to take that away, it seems like.
Yeah, no doubt. It's hard because receiver is a momentum position. You get the couple balls early, you get in the game, you get that adrenaline, you get that rhythm, and it's like you feel like nobody can stop you. So when teams kind of play that way of kind of just letting you, make you check it down and things like that and take away the big plays, it definitely can be challenging. But the more you see it, the more you realize, hey, I just got to stay patient. I got to do what the coach is telling me to do and not try to do too much.
How do you feel about how pass interference has been called and everything like that? Because it's a judgment call, obviously, and you're a wide receiver who is out on the outside and doing it. That's where a lot of holding is and everything. Is it called too much, not enough? Do you just want it to be more consistent? What is your thoughts on that?
Yeah, just more consistent because some refs call it different than others. Some just let you play, which was the style of play I like on both sides. I like a physical game and kind of just letting us play ball to an extent. And then there's some refs that it's offensive guy barely pushes a little bit and they call it offensive PI or a DB grabs at the beginning of the route and they call it DPI. I just want to see consistency and honestly we haven't seen it too much in our games, but I've seen it just watching football. That PI was it in the LA Chargers and Cleveland game. I thought that was a pretty bad call, but just want to see consistency.
You're going to get fined. What if you get fined for saying that on this show? That would be awesome. Hey, we'd find a way to get you the money, by the way. But I just want to let you know that would be awesome. We'd feel like we arrived if you got fined for saying something on our show. Do you watch a lot of football? You like football still? I know a lot of guys in the league, because they get paid to watch football. They watch so much film. It's kind of tough for them to watch like the primetime games. You watch football? You watch games? You know what's going on around the league?
I love watching football because I feel like it's like a different thing. Like I don't feel like what I do on Sundays is the same as what I'm watching. It's I don't know if that makes sense, but it is kind of, I love watching it. And honestly, I get confidence from it because I'm like, oh, that guy's pretty good and he got covered on that play. So, because I'm hard on myself, so it definitely gives me a little bit of confidence.
If you're not open on one play, and even if you gave like your best stuff, do you start, oh man, I ain't fucking got it anymore. I mean, oh my God. Do you living and dying with every rep?
It just eats me alive. I'm not going to lie. Like I'll wake up at like 4 a.m. and I'll be like, man, I should have won on that route. It makes me so mad. It makes me so mad.
People wonder why professional athletes are professional athletes, by the way. That is what's waking him up in the middle of the night, is that he got beat one time on a particular route. Go ahead, Ty.
Speaking of all that stuff and wide receiver being a momentum position, like, we know how competitive you are. How tough is it? Like, do you ever go into a game like on Sunday, you only had 2 catches and obviously you're doing a bunch of stuff that's not showing up on the stat sheet, but do you ever go into a game thinking like, oh, I'm maybe not going to get as many looks today? I mean, obviously Kirk's trying to get you the ball, but like, how do you stay engaged like that when you're not necessarily getting the ball?
Yeah, honestly, I just try to like not even think about it. Like just focus on, practice throughout the week and get preparing myself and then just kind of feeling it out as the game goes. But again, yeah, it's difficult, not getting opportunities early or things like that. But at the end of the day, that's just part of this league. And teams are good. They know how to take away what you're really good at. They know that the offense coordinator is trying to get you the ball or this or that. So you just got to be patient. You just got to. It's part of the game, and it's not going to change. So you just got to find a way.
I've been talking the last couple of years about teams taking T.Y. Hilton out of the game basically with coverage. And I think T.Y. saw it as a massive compliment at the beginning whenever they shifted the double and triple coverage off of Reggie. It moved it over to T.Y. I think that was like a passing of the baton almost to T.Y. But then as the years evolved and T.Y. was the guy and there was no other weapons, he was staring down literal triple coverage. And there's just, hey, this is what's your day is going to be. You are not going to do anything. We're going to take, do you have to just like own that and be like, okay, I'll be a distraction? I don't know if it happens, especially with Justin Jefferson, with how good he is. I don't know how they pick and choose who they'll double on your side. But is there some games where you go in and you know, like immediately upon the first couple snaps, it's like, oh, they are trying to minimize me completely, and you just have to own it and try to make the most of it? That seems difficult. That seems like something that would be very difficult.
Yeah, definitely. There's been those games in the past where it's you know early on what their game plan is. But teams have done the double thing where they take away two guys. Where they take away one guy, like I know in the past, like if I was out and it's just Justin out there, they're gonna just literally take him away, or vice versa. So it is tough, but at the end of the day, shoot, especially where I'm at in my career, I just want to win. So if I got to be decoy and we win, so be it. We beat the Lions last week, last second field goal. I had 2 catches. I don't care. I want to win. And I honestly mean that. Yeah, as a competitor, you want the ball 100%. We want the ball, and I want to make plays. But at the end of the day, I'm in my point of my career where winning is over everything.
That's awesome.
Hey, during the game, do you have any idea how many catches you have for how many yards or anything? I've played with guys all different ways. Some guys where they know every single stat in real time. They're checking the scoreboard. I know guys that don't care at all and have no idea until the PR people tell them after the game.
Yeah, I'd rather not know, to be honest. I don't even like when they tell me after the game, but I had, but I just don't even want to know.
That's smart. Go ahead, Connor.
Yeah, Adam, Dalvin Cook has been missing some time here in the past few weeks. Is that something where when he goes out that you guys try and almost take more load on yourselves between you, Justin, and also Madison in the back? Or are you just kind of trusting the process and having a great backup to Dalvin also helps?
Yeah, at the end of the day, as a receiver, you just got to run the plays that are called. So there's not much that I can do as far as that. But yeah, I think we always talk in our room is we got to make the plays. We got to make them. We got to go. It's on us. It's on us to help this team win. And I feel like when you have that mindset, whether that is the case or not, even when Delvin is there, we got to have that mindset of hey, it's on us. We can't let someone or wait for someone else to make a play. We got to make the play. So having that mindset, I think, is important because sometimes they load the box and they take away Delvin. And we got to step up and we got to make the play. And sometimes they do the other opposite, and Delvin has a big game. So you never know when those opportunities are come. You got to be ready.
Hey, the play don't care who make it. You know what I mean? The play don't care who make it. And there's going to be, one or two every single game that kind of separates everything. And before we let you go, back to your work day here, that is one of the cleanest hoodies I've ever seen in my life.
Oh, yeah. Wow. Yeah. Isn't that swaggy? There's some sick ones. So this company, it's actually a Minnesota company. And actually, the guys are from Mankato, where I went to school, and they're pretty sick. But they got like a black one, they got a gray one, an all white one. I'll get you guys hooked up. You guys need some swag.
Listen, if it's that one right there, I would wear it. Yeah. I went to a high school that was purple and gold. You know what I mean? So that's where the ballers ball and the players play in. So I would definitely love that. It looks unbelievable. We'll pay for it, though. We'll support the biz. Speaking of the biz, how's your training facility going? I assume during the season you have to be kind of checked out for that thing. How's business going off the field?
It's going really well. It's so fun to see those athletes having success. So now it's kind of they're in their sports season. So I see the different facilities posting about either individual athletes or teams that we train, having success. So that's what I like to see. At the end of the day, that's why we do it. We want these kids to have success, on the field. We're not training them for basketball or football. We're training them to become a better athlete. So when they go have success, on the field or on the court or on the ice, it's pretty cool to see.
Thielen, I know you only got like a minute before you got to get to practice, but AJ and I were talking about this last week, and I think every good athlete in the history of athletics has said the solo focus in sports that some people push is so dumb. Could you imagine if you only played one sport growing up, how much less of an athlete you would be? I'm happy that seems like the tide has turned against that, but that is so stupid. So stupid.
Well, first of all, did you call me an athlete?
Hey, you're gritty.
I thought it was crafty.
You're right. That's interesting. What if he named his athletic gyms Crafty Athlete U or something like that? Because that is literally, what did you run a 4? What did you run a 4? What?
4.45.
And they're like, he's surprisingly quick. All right, surprisingly crafty.
Before I do want to touch on that because I think it's important. I would not be in the NFL today. I would not even be close if it wasn't for me playing other sports. I played 4 sports all the way through high school. I still say to this day, each one of them I use in my NFL career. But basketball, probably one of the most important just because of the movements, the body control, just having to adjust to the ball and things like that. On the football field, I mean, a lot of my routes are basketball, crossing a guy over, doing things like that. So, 4 sports. I mean, as many sports you can play as a kid. I can't say it enough.
I 100% agree. And talking about routes, are you always like experimenting and trying to figure out new ways to run routes? And like they show Hunter Renfrow and these routes that he's running, how they pick them up. Like, are you always working on things like that?
I am, yeah. I think that's more of like an OTA training camp thing where I'm trying to do different things. But honestly, sometimes in games it becomes hard because it's like things happen so fast. But I think the more patient you can be and you can actually do some of those things, it's deadly on the field.
What is it? Just a hezzy game? You just got to have a sick hezzy. That's what you got to do. You got to do a little head bob with these people.
You got to be sudden. It's sudden. Like guys like that lull you to sleep. Antonio Gates was that way. I don't know if you like what you think, Steve. I mean, Antonio Gates comes out. He looks all nonchalant, and then bam, he's breaking out so hard wherever he's going, and it's because he's so subtle with it. And then boom, they're gone. You can't find him.
I look at Devontae Adams. I mean, the dude he comes off just kind of like a little hop and chill and then pop. It's and that stuff is absolutely deadly. I love watching his releases and the way he plays the game. So that's the stuff that I try to take and apply to my game.
Keep crushing it, brother. We appreciate the hell out of you. Good luck this weekend in Carolina, and that hoodie is incredible. Ladies and gentlemen, the glue behind Kirk Cousins and Coach Zimmer, wide receiver, all-pro Adam Thielen. He's a good dude.
Yeah.
Very good.
He's a great athlete. Crafty, but good.
Very crafty and fast and athletic. You can be all of them, right?
He is sneaky athletic. I mean, he is. Once again, we saw him with our own eyes hit a 3-wood, 375 yards. It was one of the most impressive things I've ever seen. He drove it through the green on a par 4 with a 3-wood.
Yeah. Damn. He actually thought it was going in the hole. He immediately said to you after.
Yeah, it was exciting. It was kind of electrifying. I'm like,
So
holy
awesome.
shit. I thought he was laying up, got the 3-wood out. We didn't know each other that well. It was like the second hole maybe. So we didn't really know each other that well. And I thought he was laying up. I didn't want to get in his backswing or whatever. And it was, no, he's fucking going for the hole. This is too short of a hole. It was like 360 yards or 355 or something. I'm like, this guy.
He's a stud. Maybe he could be your golf coach.
I don't need a coach. I like figuring things out like myself. That's why I'm Bubba Watson on.
That's right.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
I find my own. I will need a swing coach, though, of some sort, because
Tiger.
I thought I had it figured out.
Tiger.
I thought I had it figured out there for a bit. Maybe Tiger will be my swing coach. Did you see what he did with Charlie?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, Charlie Wood's got the best swing I think I've ever seen. That guy was winning tournaments all by himself.
Getting tall.
I thought I had it figured out, and I wanted to hit some balls yesterday.
Hey, that's golf, man.
It's off day.
One day at a time.
One day you shoot 65, one day you shoot 90. That's golf.
Yeah, it is golf, but if I'm looking to get this $20 million from you in the next 31 years, I'm going to have to be able to stack days, and I can't have a day like I had yesterday. I'm talking about we're almost not getting balls off the deck.
The turf, really.
Yeah. I was able to go pick up balls. You know what I mean? Normally they're hit. I was able to just regather the balls myself because normally I hit them into the woods and they disintegrate, obviously, good for the nature and everything like that. These ones weren't even making it out of like reach. Like 5 to 10 of them.
Yeah, recharge, refuel.
It's going to happen.
Get back out there.
It's football season right now.
Yeah, get away from it a little bit. Go decompress somewhere.
All right, I got 31 years. I got to remember that. All right, let's get to a break and then.
Is ticking.
No, it is not. No, it is not.
It will be here before you know it. Unfortunately, it will be here before we know it.
I hope so. I thought about that.
I mean, the 31 years, not you on tour.
Oh, yeah. Well, both there. I was thinking about, like, I hope I live that long.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Sure.
Advancements in modern technology and medicine, you kidding me? You'll be around till you're 450.
I hope so.
That might be
Work
a
for
little
Steve
too
Jobs.
Well, Steve Jobs chose Western medicine, allegedly, and it didn't work. And a lot of people told him, like, hey, you should have done this instead, but he went down on his shield. You know what I mean? That was kind of what Steve Jobs was all about.
A lot of those guys do.
Respect.
Allegedly, there were people. It might have been a fake headline. I'm not going to talk about it. Let's get to a break.
You never know. What was it?
There was people that froze themselves, like my idea.
Uh-huh.
And then somebody broke in and.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was in Russia.
Yep.
Somebody stole it, the frozen bodies?
Oh, no.
Oh, yeah.
Or knocked the generator offline so they thaw it out.
No, they stole it.
Well, allegedly in a divorce dispute, an ex-wife went into the scientist's place and took the brains, I think.
All of them.
Yeah, heads and bodies.
Heads, bodies.
So that's a worry of mine if I do pay to freeze myself until they find a cure of whatever's killing me and they bring me back later. Is what if a divorce happens and somebody comes in and just plucks my body out of the frosting machine?
You have to hire a bodyguard.
Yeah, it won't be in Russia. We'll get you in like a very nice laboratory somewhere in the United States.
What are you
of
talking
America.
about? You'll be right next to me in the laboratory, pal.
Well, but what if I find out how to do it? Then I have to stay alive and unfreeze all you guys.
True, that's very nice. One of us will have to
Exactly.
man the post.
Good point.
Outside of our frozen bodies waiting on the cure.
Boom.
Do we trust Mitt?
No.
No. But Mitt will be.
I do.
He'll be in the
Well, he's
cryo
going to be the
chamber.
first one frozen if we had to bet.
That says a lot. And I would trust Mitt with a lot of things. I don't think I trust him watching my frozen body for decades and decades until they find the cure for whatever is killing me.
He unplugs you for his phone.
Man, they never found the cure. That's a shame. All right, we're back in 4 minutes. Big thanks to Adam Thielen for joining us. That hoodie was incredible.
Yeah.
So awesome.
I thought it was licensed
I'll
gear.
take
Like
it.
it's not NFL gear. It's not your Nike and licensed locker room wear.
I guess the company is called UNRL Unreal. I don't know how they got the Vikings logo on there. I guess the Vikings had to have worked a deal with them. It was incredible. What, you don't think it's that nice? What is your
Well,
deal?
no, I was gonna say, hey, if you want to send a couple, that'd be nice. I will need something to wipe my ass with this weekend. So,
all right, we're back in 4 minutes. That is unreal. The amount of
Just use toilet
disrespect
paper, Ty.
you just showed. Unreal. And Adam Thielen.
oh, I mean, the threads look great, but just hey, listen, if you send those in, I'm gonna end up having to wipe my ass with it.
Very nice of you.
Chafe, too.
We know that happens a lot with your stomach.
Well, we got a bidet too, so
Yeah.
that's crazy that he's even choosing to use that over the bidet. But hey, that's NFC North football, baby.
That's right, baby.
We're back in 4 minutes with some phone calls and more chitter chatter. 1-833-4 McAfee on the 5-Hour Energy phone line. Can't wait to chat with you. See you then. I just saw a picture of you getting out of, I think, a 757 that was from Jim Irsay. What was that, and have you ever been in that plane before?
I thought it was like the team plane to fly all of the Indianapolis Colts. Literally, I mean, it's got the logo on it, Pat, and it was awesome. But look, that's just Jim. Pat, I had a wonderful 14 years there. It's obviously the team that I wanted to play for always. I understood the decision he had to make, and no hard feelings, and for him to send his plane to fly me and my son down here, it was a great gesture. A lot of room for me and Marshall. We were throwing the football. Pretty cool experience. Pretty cool father-son weekend.
By the way, as he's moving from event to event right now, you are the best, dude. Where are you headed right now?
I'm going to the game. I got Lynch. I got Faneca. I got these guys in the background.
Boys, congratulations. Yeah. Congratulations, boys. All right, Peyton. Oh, hey, there he is. Marshall, I hope you enjoyed that plane, pal. Hey, Peyton, last thing here. You talking to Tom Brady, you becoming friends with him. It was interesting to watch. Oh, yeah, take the photo. Take the photo. All right, we will wrap this up.
Well, I'll tell you, Pat, I don't think anybody can do what Tom has done. Look, I know how hard it was for me to get on the same page with my receivers, learn a new system, learn new coaches. But I had a full off season. I was injured. I was rehabbing. The fact that Tom has done this in a COVID pandemic off season, no time to meet with his receivers. He met with his coaches illegally by breaking into Byron Leftwich's house. So besides that, it's been incredible what he's been able to accomplish, and he deserves all the credit. His leadership is what's put the Bucks in this game today, and I have great respect for him because I know how hard it is, but he deserves all the credit.
Hey, how did you know Red 18 was coming?
Pat, I mean, I can't tell you how much I appreciate you telling that story and just growing the legend. That was about the 18th time I tried it. I was 17 going into that. And, you know, when it doesn't hit, you just keep walking and nobody ever really tells you about it. So when it hit, I was as surprised as you were. And the reaction from some of the good old folks there in the casino that night was pretty special.
Well, I appreciate you doing that. You made me and those folks in the casino a bunch of money. Congrats on the Hall of Fame nod. Thank you for spending time. Enjoy yourself at the game, Peyton.
Pat, thanks, pal. I appreciate you.
The Sheriff Hall of Famer, Peyton Manning. How are ya? I'm Roman, a men's health brand that can dance very well and make you the best you possible. Are you suffering from male pattern baldness? Dahn, we got something for that. Herpes. See ya. Premature ejaculation? Gone. No more coming too quick. Allergies as well. And that's not all. We have clinically tested supplements for everything, including erectile dysfunction. Come on! Bye-bye! GetRoman.com/Pat. Be the best you possible.
This is the Pat McAfee Show on Sirius XM Mad Dog Sports Radio. We thank you for taking the time to seek out this small regional show that streams internationally. Here's Pat and the boys.
Welcome back to the show. Just had an incredible biblical joke that just got fired off right before we came back live. It was good. It was good.
Can you repeat it?
No. I mean, in the context, it would never make sense if we didn't really dive deeper into it. What I'm saying is, how long do you trust something if it's not working? You know, basically was the gist of this whole thing. Because sources allegedly are saying, and I don't know if this person wants to be ousted as the source. I'm not sure. Allegedly, Spencer Rattler is going to be going into the transfer portal. Allegedly. You know, Oklahoma canceled its media today, I guess. And obviously after what happened in the Red River shootout diner, where Caleb...
They gave him Monday off, too, I know, of practice.
Oh, so AJ's got an ear to the ground in college football world. What do you think's going on? I mean, there was, I guess, FU Rattler chants happening from the Oklahoma student section while they were undefeated, let alone what happened last week where Caleb came in, won the game for him when they were down like 18 or 20, whatever it was. I mean, it's getting loud over there. The transfer portal seems to be a place that a lot of kids go. Seems right that Spencer would potentially go as well. I'm not 100% sure. Allegedly, though, he has entered the transfer portal. Come to West Virginia, pal.
Ooh. Right.
Now, come on over to West Virginia.
Yeah, Iowa. Why not?
Go to BC.
You want to go play in the league? Go be one of Kirk's dogs.
Come to West Virginia. And then that's where the conversation led to, like, you know, we're trusting to climb over there at West Virginia. How long do we how much trust do we have? And then that's where I entered in Joseph, who had the utmost amount of trust in his virgin wife, who was pregnant by God. So that's how we got to where we got to. So we did just cover it.
That's a lot of trust. You're right. Good job.
Lot of trust. Mm-hmm. Nobody talks about it, actually. I think it just kind of gets skimmed over in that whole conversation. He might be the most trusting human to ever walk this earth.
Mm-hmm.
And for that, we are thankful.
Thank you, Joseph.
We'll read this.
Thank you, Joe.
Love you, Joe.
Welcome back to the show.
We're about to read. Didn't you have a read in your head?
I did, but the song ended. It's been too long. You know what I mean? We waited too damn long. We'll get back to it. Bird dogs have great joggers.
Oh, the best. So comfortable.
We will talk about it. Let's get some phone calls. Oh, actually, AJ, I wanted your take on this. We talked about it in the first hour. You know, Schefter has now been a part of the Bruce Allen workplace malfunction investigation run by the NFL. 650,000 emails were allegedly read over a 7-year period of Bruce Allen's on his work at Washington Football Team at NFL.com email. The first we heard about was obviously John Gruden's interactions with Bruce Allen that were very offensive and very loud and very comfortable conversations happening, which made us believe and everybody else believe there has to be more. If John Gruden's firing those emails off to Bruce Allen, and Bruce Allen seems like a guy who's reciprocal of those types of emails, there has to be more in this 650,000. Today, Adam Schefter name got brought up because he sent an email to Bruce Allen calling him Mr. Editor and asking him if anything should be added, changed, or tweaked during the lockout conversation with a report or a story he was going to do. In the first hour, I learned more about it live on air, that allegedly he sent the entire story to Bruce Allen asking if anything needed to be changed, and all the Big J journalists came out and said that if he would have sent quotes from Bruce Allen asking if he wanted to change or tweak his quotes as opposed to the full story, it wouldn't be time to call into question his journalistic integrity. But since he sent the entire story, called him Mr. Editor, and asked if anything needed to be changed, everybody on earth has assumed, oh, that's a narrative being painted by Bruce Allen that Adam Schefter is then relaying. And that's just one email. Who knows how many more there are in this whole thing. But Schefter's been caught in the crossfire here of this Bruce Allen email investigation. Your thoughts on this entire thing?
Well, my first question was, how many media members are doing this? Where they send, like you said, it's one thing to send like cut-ups or sections and say, hey, does this look okay to you? Does this look like what you said? Whatever. But to send the whole thing and then he's jokingly calling him Mr. Editor. I don't know. Is this common practice? I've seen some, like, was it Ravel who kind of stood up for him and said, like, not the best of looks, but I understand. And then other people are like, absolutely not. You can't do this. So where are we with all this?
I haven't dove into how every member of the journalistic community is speaking.
But it is given one side. Obviously, it looks very bad for Shefty. It shows like Shefty is putting out what the league, what the execs, what their side wants when you're talking about the lockout, and none of what the players and the players' union wants.
Isn't that interesting, too? Because I got oh, man, I don't even know how I should address this. So when the last CBA negotiation was happening, there was a guy on Get Up named Moz.
Yeah.
And he was speaking, and it was obvious that he was getting information from the NFL about what was being offered and what was some potential sticking points in the negotiation. But it was obvious that he had a good connect in the NFL, whether it was the NFL themselves or somebody that maybe was privy to the information. And whenever he was on Get Up, he was projecting all the information from the NFL side, and everybody was immediately asking, why won't the players take this deal? This sounds like this is a good deal, right? So when situations like this happen with Schefter, especially around a lockout or something like that, all those things that have been said by media members, to your point, everything, it's like, who's saying what? Why are they saying it? Who benefits from what they're saying? And I think that happens in journalism a lot, I think. And that's why in the modern age, with how much we know now and how woke everybody is, and I got attacked for being woke yesterday, which I guess is a terrible thing, to be a little bit more, hey, what's going on? I guess that is something that's terrible. It's been used as that. I was murdered yesterday for this entire thing. But as we learn more and more about people, I think we should all naturally start questioning everybody's piece of information from everywhere on how or why it got to be where it is. You know what I mean?
You have done this, and I saw you earlier in the show talk about that, where like you have been like saying, hey, who does this benefit? Who put it out? Whose side are they telling? Yeah, that's in theory, that's a great thing to do, and we all should do that. But the vast majority of people will never do that. They're never going to be like, well, wait, what are the motives behind whoever wrote this, whoever put this out? No, that's just not going to happen.
Who is this particular insider friends with? And
nobody does that.
Nobody does it. That's because the headline's just too easy, especially with Twitter, where it just says
there's too much out there. There's too much information coming at us every day that it's like, okay, you got to really pick and choose what you want to dig deep and figure out.
This won't affect Schefter, though, right?
No,
I don't think
so.
He
didn't address it today.
Yeah, people will forget about it eventually, but I tell you what, other journalists will not forget
unless
about it.
Unless there's more egregious stuff that comes out from it.
Yeah, because now we know Schefter's at least an correspondent.
There's more to with it. Didn't you see there's other emails a little bit showing like between, I don't know, Rosenhaus and them, like saying, giving scoops basically. Like, oh, I know there's a thing where Rosenhaus had an email in there saying Navarro Bowman is open for a trade. And it was like he was giving scoop basically. He sent that to Bruce Allen. Bruce Allen told Shefty reported it, like stuff like that, I guess.
So people, because I got somebody tweeting me that all hell is about to cometh or something like that with this email thing. And I assume it's because what you're saying, there's like some random person tweeted me, and I try to scroll through my Twitter during the commercial breaks just to see what is happening, how it's happening.
Who is hell is coming for who?
I think everybody. I think that in the NFL
everybody that interacted with Bruce Allen, basically.
Yeah, and it's 650,000. If John Gruden's emailing him, he's Monday Night Football. Schefter's emailing him, he's at ESPN. I wonder how many other people are potentially in there as well, and how often is this happening? And I think that's what the person that tweeted me, the hell is cometh or whatever, because there was more coming out. But the NFL is controlling what they want leaked, right?
Right.
They're getting a lot of pressure put on them, though, to put all 650,000 out.
There's no way
they're not going to do that.
No, they won't. But they'll throw out some. They'll throw out some that tear some people down and kill some people, but then they'll leave out what they really don't want out there.
So it's a pick and choose situation right now. How much do we have to give to get people off of our ass?
And they don't have to give anything. They could just be like, hey, you guys want to, we understand the news cycle. You guys can come at us forever and keep telling us we need to release all of them. And if we just ignore it, eventually we'll go away and we'll have more games this Sunday and everyone will forget it.
And by the way, we'll also have the person that's being called into question from the information that we released announce that ESPN has won the rights to the Monday Night Wild Card game for the next 5 years.
Yeah,
exactly.
What a fascinating series of events happening right now at a very high level. By the way, this is a level that is way above me, way above Ty, Connor, Tone, Foxy, Zito, Nick, Gump, everybody here, basically. But this is right in your ballpark. We need you to be doing this research. You know what I mean? This is out there.
How is this in my ballpark again?
Well, because you're out there at Lake Prefontaine over there in Idaho, moseying with Timberlake, Goodell, and the boys.
I've never been out to Idaho.
Anyways, this is happening at a very high level. And if the NFL is picking and choosing what they can let go, and I know there's a lot of pressure from other journalists, like, excuse me, I'd like to know what other questionable integrities are around this journalist community and how other people are potentially gaining an advantage doing what, how they're doing it. That's probably why the journalists are pissed. But everybody has to remember the NFL does, they'll do whatever the fuck they want to do. They do not care. What were you going to say, Nick?
The Schefter thing, just to hammer this home, this goes back to the Aaron at the draft and that news coming out from Schefter, right? He literally said league and team sources. And then everyone hammered Aaron and they hammered you and said, hey, this guy wants out. He's being a diva. No, this information was given to Schefter by league and team sources.
Isn't this classic? Because as soon as that accumulation of information was released, which was not addressed as an accumulation of information when it was released on draft day, it was a breaking news. It was a breaking news. And literally in the article it says, league and team sources confirm, blah, 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 what he went on to say. So we, naturally, we kind of were told that something was coming. Mm-hmm. Hashtag JNew. But we had to wait on it, and then we reread it. As soon as I read it, I immediately was like, okay, so the Packers wanted this out. Why did the Packers want this out? And I said that just as a casual conversation, as a statement of fact, as opposed to my opinion. I just put it as a statement of fact. I got people who told you that was from the Packers. I was like, well, it was in the article. And then if you read it, it was obviously trying to make Aaron look like a piece of shit. Hey, we have tried to turn over every stone, 3 flights out to meet him. We've done this, we've done that. It's like, okay, that's the Packers side, obviously, in this article right here. And then I guess it was not supposed to be portrayed that way. That was supposed to be a right down the center. So when this situation happens, you can't help but think, oh, we were right. We were getting attacked for no reason. Thank you, Nick, for that. That is a fucking great call, Nick. Good brain on you, Nick.
Hell yeah.
That's good paisan right there. Not this paisan. You know how you said it earlier.
Disgusting.
That was unbelievable. That's good paisan over there. I appreciate that. What were you going to say, Ty?
No, I was just going to say, like you mentioned, there will be a couple scapegoats probably from stuff they see. It's like, okay, well, we're going to have to get rid of this guy. But they're not going to just self-inflict a huge, massive firestorm. Oh, shit, we'll release all these emails and potentially fire 400 people. That's not going to happen.
People are thinking that's going to happen on the internet, though, I think people are assuming that there is going to be
I don't think
mass turnover at this thing with this.
But you've talked about how good Goodell is at, just saying nothing, even while he's saying a lot. So it's...
Imagine if Goodell in his next press conference gives us some answer that is eloquently painted, that says absolutely nothing. And then at the end, he goes, I'm actually pro football, by the way.
Yeah.
Just like a subtle, petty, that would be interesting. But what the NFL will do is exactly what they normally do. It's like, hey, this weekend, We're the best league on earth. There's going to be a bunch of big games that are about to take place. We'll move on here in a couple of weeks. We're about to hit the whole stride. And I assume that's what a lot of people are hoping, because there's a bunch of people coming after me saying, let's check your emails and text messages. And I'm sure you said things. I'm like, okay, so you're outing yourself, it sounds like. And then also check my shit. Do it. I'm completely okay with that. But there's also reports that there's a lot of people around the NFL that are sweating right now, allegedly. I mean, that is allegedly.
It would have to be people that knew that they communicated with Bruce Allen, though, right? Because this is all coming because of the investigation on him and the team.
Now I have to, because if this is a workplace misconduct study or whatever by the NFL, I wonder if they see some of these emails and like, maybe we should open an investigation going on over here. Is this a league-wide thing? That's kind of how the feds operate, right? The feds turn over one thing and then it's like, ooh, now we can boom, bang, bang. I don't know if that's how the NFL is going to go, because to Ty's point and to everybody's point, do you want to find out that your entire league is potentially, why
would they? Why would they self-inflict, like you said, self-inflicted wound? Why would they do it? It would be almost like, I guess the good thing that you and the boys have is if someone came in and did a deep dive and had to really investigate the office and they found like, hey, what's all this big wet butts searching like all these guys? You're clogging up our internet, and you already put it out there. So like, hey, it's okay. We're not hiding from anything.
Right. Transparency is a big deal. What you do in the dark will come to the light. That's been a statement for a long time. I've actually lived by it, so much so that goddamn Nick has called me paranoid for like the last 2 decades of my life. And it's not paranoia. It's just understanding like we live in a time, especially because they said it was 7 years. Now, a lot of people are coming to Gruden's defense like, oh, it was 10 years ago. Let's see what a lot of other people are saying. It was like, well, it was also all the way up to like 2018. I think there was like some things that we don't know when's being said what and how it's being said, but the league should not be that. The league's the best league on earth, being represented hopefully by the best humans, so that thing can continue to grow or whatever.
Yeah, and it also just seems like, if people want blood, and this is an NFL investigation, it'd be very easy for Goodell to just go through and be like, okay, if you've ever said anything disparaging about me, I'm going to fucking can your ass.
That must be pretty fun, by the way, for him. What'd they say?
Kill him.
Kill him.
Kill him? Oh, you don't like what I'm doing? Just made this $110 billion deal. You're fucking out.
See ya.
You'll never represent Shield. Fucking gone. You should have seen what I seen in your text messages. How'd you get my text messages? Well, one thing led to another, and there's workplace misconduct detrimental to the league. You're fucking out, dude.
See ya.
What if Goodell did? Because this is all the NFL's investigation that Roger Goodell is running, right? He's the head of. He's the boss of. So anything that comes out, you would assume, unless there is a leak in the NFL, and they will find that leak quickly if that was the case. I think that's the way the NFL operates. Anything that's getting out, they're choosing for it to go out, which is a wild scene as we continue to unfold through this entire thing. 45 minutes into hour 3 here. Can't thank you enough for joining us. Just got off a conversation with Adam Thielen earlier in the hour. Seems like the Vikings are on a good path, AJ.
They should be, yeah. I mean, what a victory they had last week that did not look like they were going to win for parts of that game. But quickly going back to the Gruden thing, what about Jay Gruden? Or is it going to be hard for Jay Gruden to get another job? I mean, not even he's not going to get tied into it, but just because the name, it's his brother.
Listen, I understand Jay Gruden is an accomplished Arena League quarterback and Arena League coach and had a stint in the NFL. When I hear his name, all I think about is him sitting
outside of a Sbarro pizza joint
on the sidewalk,
Native American style, with flip-flops on, cigarette out, I believe, and just stooped over. And not that I have not been pictured the same way, okay? There's nothing, listen, you do what you got to do. But that is literally the first thing I think of. Yeah. So I would assume that also his brother's actions are not going to help people's first thoughts of old Jay Gruden.
Yeah, and that wasn't in the offseason. That was Wednesday game week against the Cowboys. So Jay Gruden definitely won't be getting a job.
Let's go. Let's go to the 5-hour energy phone line. Let's go to Drew in Cincinnati. What's going on, Drew?
What's going on, Pat? Good to talk to you guys.
Hey, great to chat with you as well. Let's go Bearcats, huh?
Hell yeah, that's what I'm calling about. So I'm a graduate. I was actually there when you guys beat us in 2007, kicked a 49-yard field goal in the 40-degree weather. So thanks for taking us out then.
Hey, good for me. I made one. Nobody ever remembers those ones. Yeah, thank you, man. That was awesome. Thank you.
You definitely weren't the kickers we saw in Cincinnati this week.
Oh,
easy.
Get over it, Drew. Jeez.
Hey, so question for you. So this year, we're number 3. SMU wins out, Notre Dame, IU wins out. When do we get jumped by Ohio State?
Oh, that's a hilarious thought because this is a very high ranking for a Power 5 school. Now, granted, they're joining the Big 12. They came in ranked top 10, which is great for teams that are outside of the Power 4 or whatever the hell it is. Them at 3, I think, is very good this early in the season. If they win out, which they will, let's assume that team continues to just they buzzsaw some people.
Oh, yeah.
Desmond Ridder has the chance to really do it. I don't know when a big school will jump them, but as soon as that happens, there'll be so many questions about money and who's making this decision, and it'll become all the way back full circle about how Cincinnati, and then they'll get into Big 12, and then they'll win again, and there'll be a whole story. Drew, I think, thinks like a lot of us. It's inevitable that they get fucked over because they're from a smaller conference. It's inevitable on this. It's sad. I don't like it. I hate it, but it feels like it is inevitable if something happens.
For me, it doesn't feel like that this year. I feel
really?
Like
Let's go.
I think this is the first time they beat Notre Dame, big game, whatever. If they win out, if they take care of business, I don't see them being jumped this year.
I hope
they
so.
Stay in the top 4.
Hey, by the way, if Luke Fickell gets a Power 5 conference school or whatever, a non-power player school into the playoff, that's going to go down as one of the greatest coaching accomplishments of all time, right? Because you're not just dealing with, 18 to 21-year-olds who are being scouted at a bunch of other schools that have a lot more available to present to them, facilities, everything. I'm not saying Cincinnati is not great facilities, but I'm just talking about, have you ever seen the drone shot of Alabama? Have you ever seen what they got cooking down there? Being able to recruit, get his team, get that group to buy in and continue to mature and evolve and play, and then also somehow be able to debunk the politics that have potentially held out other schools that look like him. That might be one of the greatest coaching things of all time, AJ. And that's your guy that you ruined his first year coaching at Ohio State.
Luke is the man. I love Luke. But they have no margin for error. You obviously can't lose a game. And, oh, by the way, you have to win in exciting fashion and show that you are dominant over these teams.
Anytime you're trying to – so I think there's two different types of – I think there's sports and there's competitions.
Okay.
Competition is decided by judges. Sports can be decided outright by the people playing it. Both incredibly athletic. I just think there's two different genres of competition, okay? I think, now granted, I just said that and then I said sports is what you get what I'm saying. I think there's two different things. The BCS and then now the playoff and everything, the fact that you have to impress judges to me is an interesting thing. And it goes against, I think, with what a lot of football is. And I think that's why a lot of people have had issues with it for so long because there's always going to be disagreements. UCF had a national championship parade, actually.
Yep.
Yeah. It's a wild system down there. Go ahead,
Here's my question, and I love Cincinnati, but people will argue by the time the end of the season comes, they may have beat only one ranked team or 0 ranked teams.
Hey, they went in Notre Dame and beat them.
That's right.
And it's not their fault that nobody will schedule them. Right? We had this problem at West Virginia. A lot of teams wouldn't schedule us until 10 years or whatever because we had Pat and Steve. Now, granted, we were in the Big East, which was still a BCS conference at the time, which we could dive into that whole conversation about how much better this particular world is than the BCS world because at least we have a playoff and everything like that, but it's normally the same teams. The NCAA sold their right to deem a champion to the BCS. That was another group of judges or whatever. They can only play who they can play. They can only play who they schedule, which is a debate that happens at the end of every single year when one of these Power 5 schools goes and does the impossible, which is run the table and show like they're supposed to be there.
I tell you what, it's tough. I used to do a decent amount of college shows on Sirius XM, and it's tough because people love to argue about, should it be 4 teams or 8 teams? Should we expand it? Should it be 12 teams? And then they want to argue the whole non-Power 5s getting in, and I just struggle with it. After a while, I'm like, all right, that's all I got, man. I can't do this every single day.
Well, it's politics because nothing's going to happen in the end unless 1 or 2 people want it to happen.
And everybody has the answer. Everybody has what is far and away the answer, and everybody else is stupid. That's kind of how it is.
Everybody is. By the way, it's kind of life,
Well, yeah, I'm saying that they're saying, hey, this is how it should be. If you disagree, you are stupid. Get out of here.
I'm a better person than you are.
Yeah, that's what it feels like at times. I'm like, okay, cool. If that's where we are, I'm good. I understand.
The thing that's interesting to me, and you just hit on it there before you hit the you're the better person thing, the arguments and the should it go to 4, should it go to 8, should it be at 12? Like, I think 8's the right number, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
8's the right number because you have 3 at large and then 5 champs, and then you're just off and running, and there you go. They're going to make it too big. They're going to make it too big. The people are going to bitch about it. Now it's too small. It's the same thing. We should ask Dabo Swinney what his thoughts are, because his team don't want to play more games.
Yeah.
Good news.
They definitely won't make the playoff. My worry is if Cincinnati does get in and then Bama or Georgia just runs them out of the fucking building. Like, will they
Bama just lost Texas A&M. Okay, so we need maybe to
No,
talk
I know.
about it.
For them, it's going to come down to the SEC championship with Georgia Bama. But if they do just get smoked, which I hope they don't, like I think
This
winning,
has happened, though.
Yeah, it has, and them winning will help everything. But if they get blown out, then the committee will be like, "We saw what happens when there is a team that isn't in a Power 5 that gets in. What's the point of going to 8?"
Oklahoma got right.
Yeah.
They're not. I don't think
damn near every year. The
No,
closest they got was
UC
Baker.
But I think the
played
Big
Georgia in the
12
bowl
has.
game last year.
What's that, buddy?
Does it help for UC that they played Georgia close and could have won the game last year in the bowl game?
I think it helps for UC mentality. I don't know if it helps for these judges that have their decisions already made. You know what I mean? Because they see the money, too, from these bigger schools. I mean, people act like that is not involved in it. Okay, cool. We can live in a fairy tale world where we hope that doesn't exist. But here in reality, it's going to be hard for me not to think that somebody who potentially has their hand in a cookie jar might not bet against or pick against the cookies that are in the cookie jar. Like,
especially when it's not a home game and they know, like, hey, guess what? Like, these SEC, these Big Ten schools, like, they will travel anywhere to watch these teams. Like, and Cincinnati definitely would if they went, but, like, they know how much money they're getting with these blue
You know
bloods.
what could happen, though? And this could happen because they're at 3 overall. That team should start being marketed as, like, the Cinderella story now. So that by the time it's like a David and Goliath type situation, by the time the playoffs come, if they do run into it, and it kind of sets the precedent, like this team is doing something that nobody else in their division has ever been able to do, so that everybody knows what to expect, and it's a storyline that not only the state of Cincinnati, okay, and I know it's within the state of Ohio, it's what they call recruiting is the state of Cincinnati. We're going to keep these boys around. They're going to play for the Cincinnati Bearcats.
Oh, yeah.
And we're going to end up in a goddamn playoff. And that has happened. That's like happening. Luke Fickell projected this years ago, and then now it's actually coming to fruition. I think if that's going to happen, for the sake of the marketing people and the dollars potentially, I think they should start selling that story now. Like, hey, this team is about to do something and nobody's else about to do. Because although Cincinnati has very loyal fans and they fill up their stadium, when you're talking ratings and watching the games and everything like that, those people that are making those decisions know who the big. I mean, I saw a billionaire barking down at that Georgia Bulldog. It is different. It is different down there, and they know it. Let's hope Cincy's be able to squeak through, though.
Yeah, I mean, I think what could really help them is how like the narrative is on the national media scene. Like, how do they talk about them on ESPN and different shows? Are they saying like, hey, these guys deserve a chance, or are they saying no, they don't?
They do. Hey, we're going to take a stand this year. The Bearcats who sent me a great care package.
Unbelievable.
Shout out to the equipment managers for doing that. We will continue to push that the Cincinnati Bearcats will debunk the theory that no non-Power 5 school can make it into the playoff. They're going to do that. AJ, 10 seconds until Chris Mad Dog leaves. Anything to say to the SiriusXM listeners?
I'm sure Mad Dog will have a great show.
Better than us, probably. Good.
Got it in.
Mike Mayock just got done with a press conference out there in Las Vegas. Zito was listening to it while we were live there. He said nothing big came of that. Right?
Really?
Nothing really. Just called Nassib, asked for a personal day. Nassib, sorry.
Nassib, okay.
What?
I didn't know who you were talking about there whenever I heard the name, and it's plus with the music. Carl Nassib called and asked for a personal day after hearing about what happened in the emails and everything. Wow. I think this is a big time for the Raiders to kind of come together, and I assume that's Mayock's message. And then Rich Bisaccia.
Coach Richie, yeah.
Football Richie. I think
Football
about
Richie, yeah.
I think about like some Sunday dinner at some, Bisaccia family or whatever, and maybe some other acquaintances are around and they're eating, and some teenagers just getting into football, and before that dinner is fully started. Hey, why don't you go talk to Football Richie about football, huh? And then they introduce, hey, this is my nephew, Gio. He's getting into football, Richie. You want to say anything? And Richie goes, hey, work hard. Leverage goes into that. I feel like that conversation has happened at a Sunday dinner more often than we could even expect it to be happening.
I want to be like you, Uncle Richie.
Hey, football, exactly. Frank Lucas.
Yep.
Play baseball,
like you,
dude.
Uncle Frank.
How about
And now
T.I.
Mike
had a hell
Mayock's
of
in
an
charge,
arm.
though.
Oh, yeah. Burning a 99-mile-an-hour fastball.
Play for the Yankees.
Coulda.
You saw that money in that game, though. You know what I mean?
I want to be a gangster.
What are you saying about Mike Mayock?
He's the man now. He's in charge. Everyone said like Gruden was always the one pulling the trigger on the roster. Now Mayock truly seems to be like it's his time to shine, I guess.
I wonder how Mayock feels about all this.
I'm sure he's torn. He's probably I don't know. How tight were he and Gruden?
I have no idea. I have no clue. Honestly, the only time you've ever heard them talk about each other or be talked about together from national scene is, hey, this guy's doing work for this guy. That's all he's doing. It's like, oh, so he's not GM? Nah, he is GM, technically, but John Gruden's telling him what to do. That's literally all we heard. I assume Mayock maybe a little bit happy he's not in that stage of his life anymore, but also probably massive distraction for the team that you were a part of building, and you just probably learned a lot about a guy that you didn't know, maybe. I don't know how that whole
I'd
interaction.
say, yeah. I mean, his first time being a GM in the NFL, you would think like, all right, if I don't figure this one out, am I going to get another opportunity? I would imagine you have a lot of stress on you right now.
When I was listening to it all, is it weird that Mark Davis wasn't out there talking?
At the presser, no, but he never speaks, does he?
Yeah, but
Well, your
situation like
organization,
this,
right?
like a situation like this, you would think maybe, but he is kind of like, you'll see me from afar with my haircut having a good time type of owner.
Yeah,
put a
statement
statement
with
out,
Charles
bro.
Woodson.
What's that?
Doing tequila shots with Charles Woodson. In the
Yeah,
stadium.
shout out to Charles Woodson's new tequila, by the way, right?
Yeah.
That's what they were drinking?
Yeah, that's what they're.
I thought it was a whiskey.
Yeah, he does have whiskey as well.
Oh wow.
Tequila's Hugh Jackson.
Yeah, I don't
That's
think
right.
he
Yeah,
has, he
that's
has,
right.
he has whiskey and wine.
Terramana.
You heard that what right there?
You think
Is that The
Mayock
Rock?
is
Is Terramana
getting-
The Rock?
Yeah.
Come on, dude.
And also, it's the reason why face-off verse, one take.
Yeah.
The Rock.
yeah.
Wait, what?
What's my motherfucking name? Rock. Face-off, dude. Banger.
That's that song.
Oh, yeah.
John Travolta?
Yeah,
And
maybe.
he said he did it in one take.
Yeah, at
He
the end of the
did
song,
do it
he
in
actually
one
says,
take.
thank you to Tech Nine, my brother, and Terramana.
Tech
He
Nine.
actually, in the video, he takes a big swig out of the bottle, and he says one take. And by the way, it happened. You ever seen Moana, pal?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that is a one-take legend.
You know,
dude.
me very easily influenced, heard the song with the link,
Sure.
immediately bought this.
As soon as you heard Face-Off.
As soon as I heard it.
By the way,
That was what?
Face Off.
5 days ago. It's already here on my bot.
hey, it looks good on you, though.
Thanks, man.
You happy about being influenced by The Rock?
Absolutely. I am influenced by anything and everything.
You are. Some people call you a chameleon, spineless, stuff like that.
Weak-minded.
I don't think that's accurate. I think you just like what you like. I think you're all the way in on what you like. You haven't heard The Rock's new song with Tech Nine?
Oh, no, I have. I didn't know it was called Face Off. Anytime I hear Face Off, all I think is Travolta and Nick Cage.
Oh, such a good
Filmed in
one.
Pittsburgh, right?
Yeah.
Really?
I think so.
I think you're thinking
No,
of
it's
sudden death.
Sudden death.
Oh,
All-time classic.
Igloo blows up.
Did you like the song,
Yeah.
AJ?
The Rock song, yeah, it was pretty good actually.
What's Tech Nine's song? Rock
It was
had a feature.
upbeat.
Tech Nine's last album was incredible.
Yes. I appreciate the fact that they went hard.
He went very. He
You
always.
know,
does.
I would like people to continue to go hard. Too much. Now, listen, I think we should have a society filled with love. All right. Love will outweigh the hate, obviously. Let's like each other. But there's still some music needed in that particular vein about, hey, I am going to go fucking murder everything right now. You know what I mean? I'm going to go into this weight room. I'm going to go to this meeting. I'm going to go into this life. Like, I think that is something that I really appreciated from the rap community and rap music, the hustle, the drive, everything like that. Now it's all become like, we love everybody. So I like whenever The Rock and Tech Nine say, you know what, no, we're fucking stepping on throats still. We're still going. I'm like, I appreciate you. Fucking face off, dude. Fucking face off.
The Rock, hey, he's a good actor. He really is. I told you, I saw is it Jungle Cruise?
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
he was the main
Oh,
dude. Like,
so
he's
good.
very good.
Oh, Duke Fontana.
I did not see Jungle Cruise. Him and
It's a kids,
Emily
it's a
Blunt.
kids movie.
I watched it
You
all.
saw the press tour.
I saw the press tour of that one. I had some questions, but The Rock kills everything, dude. That's what The Rock does. What's his motherfucking name?
So he was allowed to. Are some people allowed to take their name and some aren't from the WWE? How's it work?
So that is interesting because as I listened to that song the first time, I thought to myself, like, Vince McMahon's like, yeah, you're right. It is The Rock. Like, yeah, fucking right. That is your name. I think there's some business that was probably done there, you know? Once you get to a certain level, I think there is business to be done. And everybody has to, you know, everybody knows, like, the WWE is Vince's business. It's a multi-billion-dollar, publicly traded, global phenomenon that he is still day to day. So I think if you do business with him, like, I think he's cool. Now, if you potentially, you know, I don't know if that's always easy for me, for instance. It's not always easy for companies to, get back in my good graces either, if those things happen. And I am nowhere near the legend or business person that Vince McMahon is. But I think that The Rock is a business guy. I think Vince is a business guy. I think they kind of approached it that way. I actually have, interesting thoughts about people that, not in world, that have complaints about where the business side of things is. It's like, why don't you go talk to the person? If you don't like them, tell them to fuck off then. And not everybody can do that or is in a position to do that. But I think a lot better things can happen whenever you actually talk as opposed to letting other people talk for you. You know what I mean?
I mean, yeah, communication. Like any relationship with anybody, no matter where you are. Don't you think communication is huge?
Yeah, I think so. Transparency, communication, expectations being set at the proper level as opposed to too high or too low. That's a big thing. Like actual expectations.
Yeah, and a clear set of defined goals and ways that we're going to get there. If it's a business, a team, whatever it is, everybody needs to know from the leader. There needs to be a clear plan. This is where we're going. This is how we're going to do it.
That'd be a dream, wouldn't it? If we had a clear plan where we're headed.
It would be.
It's kind of more fun the other.
What do you mean with everything? COVID, football. There's clear plans, clear path.
Our next clear plan is Halloween's around the corner.
Yeah.
Hey, Halloween's around. That's a plan. We'll get to that. We will absolutely.
Well, yeah, I saw the stuff on Twitter. They're talking about this was a couple weeks ago. They're worried. Oh, be worried. Check your kids' candy. They're not giving you edibles. Who's giving away free weed to kids?
I mean, by the way, if they are, congrats to your kid. All right, they're going to get to experience something that they shouldn't experience until they're an 18-year-old, obviously, and that'll be a good moment, just like whenever you were too young drinking too much alcohol and you puked all over yourself.
Oh, yeah.
And it was like, hey, you're not supposed to do this. Not that people should do this, okay? I don't think that is cool to drug children, okay? I am not on the side of that. But if that's the biggest fear going around, the kids are going to be all right. They're going to be okay. Now, if they're putting
razor blades and
popcorn
balls.
Watch the razor blades. That's what we had to learn.
Yeah.
Careful.
Hey, I still to this day, when I go to the gas station, I will check underneath to make sure there isn't any anything under there. There was a time in our life where people were putting underneath the gas thing, they were putting shit in there, and people were getting
poop, smearing poop.
No,
it's poop again.
I've heard people smear turds underneath the door handles.
That's a classic move.
See, that's so Ohio right there. That's awesome. That's why we got.
I've never done it, or I've never seen it done. Luckily,
to be clear, probably somebody in our area did it. I mean, this morning there was a drug bust in Plum, probably right down the road from one of us. Shout out! This guy was moving. He had 8 guns, couple assault weapons, bunch of coke, meth, $25,000 in cash in Plum. So I would assume that people were putting poop maybe on the bottom of door handles where we're from as well. But I think it was more like razor blades and needles and stuff.
And anthrax.
And people were putting on it might have been a fake thing.
I've never thought of that. I've never checked I've never checked. I guess I'm going to have to now.
I do it every time, literally every single time. And I forget until I'm about to, you know what I mean? I never think about it when I'm pulling in. And then immediately upon grab, I'm like, whoa.
All right, no anthrax.
Just poop.
Thank God.
All right, that's a show, dude.
Do you turn your car off when you get gas?
Yeah, you have to, right?
What?
You don't have to.
Oh, no.
Well, what do you do? Leave your kids in the car and keep it on?
Definitely don't have to.
You have to.
Come on.
What do you have, a balloon against your hair,
I'm
too?
not going to do another. This isn't going to be another thing with the fact
Nah,
This isn't another thing.
You have to do it in Canada.
Scares me.
They will come out and make you turn your car off if you don't.
Well, in Canada, they have some strict protocols and regulations, and they will get you if you are breaking any rules. We have learned.
Yeah,
And
we know Trudeau. Yeah, good luck with his Halloween costume. Let's see what he does.
You're right, though. There are some wildly questionable.
Don't change the topic.
All right. I mean, kind of Canada was the topic, and that is Canada.
Well, it's AJ driving with 2 feet and filling his car with.
There it is. The 2 feet
Guy's
thing.
trying to kill himself.
Is my car going to all of a sudden just there's
blow
sparks
up?
come flying
Why
out?
don't you grab a Marlboro Red too, AJ?
There's not a chance.
What do you walk around with static friction while you're doing it too?
Hey, turn the fucking AC up in there. All right, and this guy's got his cigar.
Ryan Lochte.
Throw some paint thinner in the back of your truck too while you're at it,
Let me grab
AJ.
this poop. Let me grab this poop handle. Hey, Axel, go grab the goddamn stick of matches, please. A fucking lighter. Is that what are we doing? What are you doing? There's no way this is you as a real human.
He's a movie villain.
I would never turn my car off when I'm getting gas. I'm not joking. Like, I think it's stupid when you do it.
You're despicable, dude.
You are.
I'm dead serious. I have to fill like,
I hope you blow up,
5-gallon cans all the time. I end up spilling gas all over myself. Doing it right here, and my car is running directly next to all the gas I'm spilling.
You're a dipshit, dude.
Hey, we appreciate you, man. We need people like you.
I'm 37. I'm still here.
Yeah, that's right.
Thank you, AJ.
Yeah, you're gonna make it too, man.
But the fact that you said you have to. What do you mean? You don't have to do anything.
Yeah, because no one wants to die in a fiery blaze. You
How many people
buffoon.
you know other than Zoolander? How many people died?
The internet, I see it on the internet all the time.
Yeah.
People drive away with that thing still in their thing. I've almost done that before. And then the fire goes right through the thing. I don't know
how it works.
Whole gas station blows up.
Yep.
Almost happened to Ryan Lochte.
It's like a bomb.
Yeah,
almost happened.
Just like lighting your farts too. That'll kill you too, won't it?
Well, it depends what you ate before.
don't
It's
suck it in.
fucking easy.
Have you ever
Jeez.
seen? Does that work?
No
Have you ever
one's
seen
ever
anybody do
said
that?
Yeah, I've seen Jackass. Yeah, but if you were to light your farts on fire, it should not be next to a car that is on at a gas station. Okay.
I mean, I don't know why that would be happening. Yeah, that is reckless. Do not do that.
All right. Hey, we appreciate you, buddy. I think that's a show. Big thanks to Thielen for joining us.
Thank you, Thielen.
Obviously, Chuck Pagano joining us.
Thank you, Chuck.
Had a couple. We should get one more call, I guess. Shouldn't we? Let's go to Bud down there in Kentucky on a 5-Hour Energy phone line. Go to 5hourng.com. Oh, we got a lot of shit to read still. Show cannot end. Hey, hold on, Bud. I have to make this announcement, Bud. By the way, Bud, this might be good for you, Bud.
Ooh.
His name's Bud. Not your Bud, pal, Bud. My name's Bud. The best untouched touchdown presented by Fluid Master, as decided by the voters at Bruce Brown's Twitter account.
Okay.
Just yesterday. A couple thousand votes, I believe. So
Wow.
this is a real poll, a real focus group. Best untouched touchdown goes to Jonathan Taylor.
Ooh, that's a good one.
It was in a losing effort, but it was an incredible run. Congrats to Jonathan Taylor, Big Ten running back who has captivated Indianapolis, who will now have a squeaky clean butthole after he takes a grumpy from our friends at Fluid Master with their 9500 soft spa bidet. He will win one, and also somebody else will win one when you tweet hashtag PMS Untouched and congratulate Jonathan Taylor on his soft spa 9500 win. You could win a soft spa 9500 bidet from Fluid Master for your own butthole.
Wow, need
So
it.
not just Jonathan Taylor's butthole wins, you could potentially win when you tweet hashtag PMS Untouched. Congratulations, Jonathan Taylor.
Nice.
Simple as that.
Let's go back to the 5-Hour Energy phone line. Go to 5hourenergy.com. Use promo code McAfee. Get 10% off your order until December 31st. They have 15 flavors that are absolutely delicious. Bud in Kentucky, thanks for waiting. We appreciate you so much. I hope you head over to 5hourenergy.com. Use promo code McAfee. Save 10% off your 5-Hour Energy drinks for the next couple months or so. What do you want to talk about, Bud?
What I want to talk about was the Kentucky and Georgia game this weekend.
Oh, who cares, Bud? Bud, who cares, Bud?
Seriously?
No, isn't Kentucky good this year, right? We're back. Big Blue Nation. We're playing football, right?
Yup.
Are you
the Big Blue Nation's got a good defense too?
Kentucky
and
has
they're
no
talking about
chance,
Georgia's
dude.
elite, but
Bud
I
said
want to
that.
know what y'all's thoughts are on it.
Hey, thank you, Bud, for that. I mean, Gumpy just tried to shit on you there a little bit. He said Kentucky has no chance, but that's what Bud's been saying. Everybody's been talking about Georgia all week. This undefeated Kentucky squad is a different Kentucky team. Ain't that right, Bud?
Yes, they are.
And that Coach Stoops they got down there, not the one that's on TV.
No, the other
one
one.
that's still coaching right now. He's a recruiting machine. They got great uniforms.
Psychopath.
And everybody knows he is a psychopath. Everybody knows that BBN is a great fan base down there, especially if something good's happening. Ain't that right, Bud?
That's right.
Is that game in Georgia or in Kentucky?
It's in Georgia.
you're fucked,
man,
bud. You're
they're going
fucked,
to
bud.
beat the piss out of
21 and a
Kentucky.
half point favorites.
I
Come
take
on.
them at
So I'm
50.
taking Kentucky.
Oh.
I'd love to see Kentucky win.
I'm
Georgia.
taking Kentucky strictly because of Bud.
Hell
And
yeah.
Bud and everybody else in Kentucky and hashtag BBN. Okay?
Yeah.
Not to be
What is that?
confused.
What is that?
Big Blue
Big
Nation.
Blue
Big
Nation.
Blue Nation.
Not to be confused
And
with
it's-
BBN, is what you were saying.
Or, I mean, there's a lot of BB somethings.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, BBW.
BBW, BBC.
The English channel.
Yes, the British Broadcasting Channel.
Big
Of
wet
course.
butts.
Good network.
All right, anyways, BBN, this particular group we're talking about, loyal bunch. They've had a good team a couple years now in the last 10 years, it feels like. A couple teams have been surprisingly good. Stoops down there recruiting. Good for them. Good luck to them against Georgia. It's going to be tough down there, though, in the Pines. It's going to be tough down there.
Yeah, Georgia's looking pretty good. The school of Randall Cobb. Randall played quarterback at Kentucky.
Yep.
School of Jared Lorenzen. School of Jacob Tammy. The school of
Bud Dupree.
Really?
Yes. And Benny Snell.
Georgia's going to fucking dump on them.
Was Georgia giving up 37 points all year? 33.
They shut out Arkansas.
Yeah, but Kentucky's got a defense, too.
Okay.
Sounds like an under.
Attaboy, Town.
Georgia's going to... Oh, man.
I'm sorry, Bud, but I saw a billionaire barking for the Georgia Bulldogs.
Yep.
And I understand the Kentucky fans are diehard with the basketball and football, probably very loyal in there.
What billionaire?
There's actually two of them, I think. I don't know their names, but they were in the suite that I was in. I was
You probably
I was in a
know
billionaire
them.
suite. Things were not going well. They were down. They were losing. Things were not going well, and they're all in here. I was on 10 edibles. Where? This is down, dog. It is different down here, man. Yes. It is very different down.
I need to go to a Kentucky game. That'd be great.
That was Georgia.
Georgia,
The
my bad.
Bulldogs, yeah. Cats would be on the other. Meow.
Yeah, that'd be great.
That's Kentucky.
Some millionaires or some billionaires hear how they meow.
All right. That's the show. Hammer Don's in 15 minutes. We can't thank you enough for joining us. We have no idea why you do, but we're thankful for it.
Hey, Bill Shatner just went to space. Are you going to go soon?
Pretty cool.
William Shatner.
Oldest guy ever.
90 years old. That dude looks
He's
good.
90.
What is the deal? I'm getting all these random fucking
Me too.
calls.
Me too. Getting hammered with them.
Really?
Just this week.
That
they
time-
started
soliciting
the time of
season?
year.
I don't know. I thought my phone had that thing where if I didn't know the number, it just sends it
You
right
might
to
have
the
to try that setting back on.
Nah,
Yeah, you got to re-up every year.
Yeah, you're paying for it 1,000%. They just don't do it.
You did just get a new phone with that setting not on.
Yeah, I got that new phone. 8K, dude. What are you doing? Nothing. Just looking good.
What color? Is it blue?
What? Red.
What?
What?
I don't have the red, unfortunately. Blue. I got the blue.
All right. Everybody in the office got new phones.
Thank you.
Thank you, Pat.
Like a big office. You obviously got a big office plan phone situation.
No, I'm not letting them use our.
No, you buy them suckers outright.
Yeah, this is you get the device, you do this on yourself.
It's on you. You are. Yeah, that's right. Don't let them tie it back to you.
Everybody roaming with their big wet butt searches.
All right. That's the show. Hammer Don's in 15 minutes. YouTube.com/Hammer Dahn. They'll be giving out picks and bets and forecasting for the weekend. We can't thank everybody enough. Tomorrow I'm in studio.
Yes.
Then I'll be flying to Ontario, California tomorrow.
Right.
Not Canada.
Yeah, that is confusing.
London Falls, Ontario. It's always a fine place to go. Seeing friends you miss, don't know the rest. Everyone loves Marineland.
All right.
Oh,
I'm not going there.
Squishy or whatever that
Dude.
that porpoise or whatever they had.
Shut up, dude.
What the fuck are you talking
That's
about?
Free
Greenland's
Willy.
a bad spot.
Fuck
If you want to hear more Gumpy singing, youtube.com/That's Hockey Talk tonight at 8 p.m. He sings the intro every episode.
Oh, yeah, it's live. And the intro is very good. And Rupper will be on there. Will there be a hockey game on at the same time?
There
you
will
guys?
be the Washington Capitals take on the New York Rangers tonight on TNT. It's going to be fisticuffs and a bloodbath potentially.
Yeah, the last time Washington played New York, they actually had, 10 fights?
Right away.
And New York loaded up this offseason.
Oh, with bullies?
Oh yeah, Ryan Reeves, one of the biggest, baddest dudes in the league.
From the Vegas Golden Knights.
Night, Tom Wilson.
He's bad. Ryan Reeves. He comes in, knocks you out, and leaves.
Oh.
He's a Ranger. All right. 53, 27, and 3 is pretty good.
He lost 27 times?
Wouldn't he dispute some of those losses?
Bingo, yeah. This is
Probably.
like who's the judge of when he lost and when he won.
I was the judge.
Yeah, Zito watched all of his
Okay.
best fights. There was an entire thing, and he kept track of which one he thought he won and which one he thought he lost. What we're saying is this guy, who is really good at hockey, appears to be incredibly handsome, is an absolute dirtbag, will drop the gloves whenever the fuck somebody wants it. Love everything about that. Wish he was a Penguin. Tonight probably get a little bit interesting. The boys haven't been around each other and they haven't buzzed in a while.
Let's go. Yeah.
Be a shame if you got his
Hockey's
ass beat
back.
tonight.
Whoa.
Yeah, that's how every fan base feels, including the Seattle Kraken that are very new, I guess. Why do you not like Tom Wilson?
I said 1A, 1B, Pens, Kraken.
See, this is why you guys will never be Hockey Town, because you got a guy that grew up in your city and hates your team.
Well, only one of our sports stinks. All of your sports stink.
Hockey Town.
No, we're Hockey Town. You guys weren't even invited to the dance whenever they had
You guys
it.
can be Hockey Town, but just know that's the junior
Don't
version,
judge
the Mickey
Pittsburgh
Mouse
off of
version, the
just
off-brand
me, dude.
version of Hockey
Folks,
Town.
You can't be Hockey Town if your team has sucked for the last 10 years.
I would want to be Hockey Town as well, but there's only one place.
Is it Tampa Bay Hockey Town right now?
You Google it.
Exactly.
Detroit,
No,
Michigan.
that's Go Bolts Town.
Go
And
Bolts.
Just because the search has been rigged for Detroit for one good thing in being called Hockey Town, you guys haven't won since before Google was created.
No, Google doesn't lie.
What are we even fucking talking about? You weren't even invited to the tournament a couple years ago.
You guys all know deep down, Hockey Town is Detroit, Michigan.
And so you guys lose 85% of your games every single year.
No,
You
this
guys are
only been happening for
stink,
about
dude.
5 years, maybe. All right.
Oh, only half a decade. It's only going to get even worse, especially if Sheila Ford Ham's still running around Detroit.
Yeah, you're a skid mark on the NHL, Fox.
You stink.
He's asked-
He's asking for vice grips right now.
I guess our pipes have bursted. That's great.
What?
Wait, what?
What happened?
What?
In the toilet.
Our urinal is running like a fucking waterfall right now.
In which bathroom?
In our men's bathroom. The urinal.
Mitt comes up to me and he goes, "Do you got vice grips in your car? We got to shut off this water supply now."
Hey, he's getting things done. Good for Mitt.
Listen.
It's not coming out of the urinal, though, so that's a plus.
That is what Mitt does. I would never trust Mitt to watch our frozen carcasses when we die so somebody doesn't come mess with us for decades and decades. But if Mitt potentially fucks something up or happens upon something that is fucked up, he will fix it.
Yeah.
It is unbelievable. He has fixed chairs that he's broken in this office before. He has fixed workout equipment that he has broken in this office. And now here we are with the urinal. I'm assuming he did not break it,
No.
but Mitt will fix it.
I sent him 2 YouTube videos, so we'll see what happens.
All right, Jesus, perfect day for this to happen. We're out of here. We will see you tomorrow. Hammer Dons in 15 minutes and Hockey Talks tonight at youtube.com/That's Hockey Talk. Thank you, AJ. You're the best. Thanks for not calling me a bad husband today.
Never did, but hey, I'm glad we're past it. You're a great husband. I've seen you. I've seen you interact. You guys are great.
Thank you. That's why
I've been reading my Tolkien.
That's not it, you prick.
Toltec.
Toltec people.
Tolkien is a good book, though.
Who?
Oh, yeah, you've been reading Lord of the Rings and The Hobbit?
I've never read or seen any of those things.
Okay, well, that's Tolkien.
I didn't even know what it was. So, I mean, that's the type of show we got running here. That's one of the most popular and famous things of all time. We have no idea it even exists. And that's
And those
what you're
books
gonna
are
get
like
every day.
9,000 pages.
Yeah, they're a little long.
Bro, when Aaron put up that book yesterday, You Are the Universe, and he turned that thing sideways, I literally saw it, and inside voice came out. I ain't reading that. I mean, it was like in the middle of him promoting this book club, which people, I feel terrible. Teach their own, though.
I don't think people were shocked to hear that.
Just like I said yesterday, I don't take it as a slight where people don't say, I want to hear what Pat McAfee thinks about something actually important. I don't take it as a slight. I don't take that as a slight at all. I don't take people expecting me to say words wrong with our Harvard accepted guy right here what you do earlier, adaptation you guys hit me with, adaptation.
Yeah, that was Connor.
That was unbelievable. You guys are in my brain a lot of the times, and I appreciate that a lot. Yeah, it really get me through these sentences sometimes. But I think everybody expects that from us. We're just a bunch of doofuses who talk about sports. We'll do it again tomorrow.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, of course.
All right. You can get this hoodie, by the way, with sleeves. You'd have to cut off your own. I did. I don't like the shape of it, though.
Good cut.
What's wrong with it?
It looks like it just came that way.
Well, it was good scissors, sharpened scissors.
Mhm.
If you give me 20 minutes, a hoodie, and scissors, I'm going to spend 18 minutes sharpening scissors.
Smart.
All right. I'll see you guys.